Are you free? Or do you just think you are? What if everything you believe to be your choice was actually the result of manipulation so subtle that you don't even notice it? Aldous Huxley and George Orwell warned us about something far more dangerous than any violent regime. They talked about a form of control where you don't just accept your condition, but you come to love it. Imagine a slave who polishes his chains every day, who displays them with pride, who violently attacks anyone who suggests removing them. Sounds impossible? Then you need to know the secrets I'm about to reveal. Get ready to discover how to make people love their own prison. This knowledge could be your salvation or your damnation. Aldous Huxley spoke about something he called the ultimate revolution. Unlike all other revolutions in history, this one wouldn't need weapons, prisons, or public executions. It would work directly on people's minds and bodies. For thousands of years, power always depended on brute force. Kings and emperors maintained control through fear, violence, and physical punishment. If you disobeyed, you knew exactly what awaited you: the gallows, the stake, or exile. But Huxley realized we were heading towards something completely different. A form of domination where the controlled person doesn't even realize they're being controlled, where they actively participate in their own submission, defending the system that oppresses them as if it were their own creation. This wasn't science fiction when Huxley wrote about it. It was a trend he saw developing around him, and the worst was yet to come. Advances in psychology, pharmacology, and mass communication techniques were creating tools of mind control that surpassed any torture instrument from the past. The problem with regimes based solely on terror is simple: they don't last. As an old political saying goes, you can do everything with bayonets except sit on them. You can terrorize a population for a period, but eventually people rebel, flee, or simply stop functioning productively. Every lasting system needs something more powerful than fear. It needs genuine consent. The question that tormented political thinkers was, how do you obtain this consent without constantly resorting to violence? The answer lay in psychology. If you could shape people's minds from early on, if you could influence their fears, their desires, and their aspirations, you wouldn't need to force them to do anything anymore. They would do everything of their own free will, believing they were following their own impulses. But Huxley went beyond this insight. He envisioned the pinnacle of human manipulation, a system where people wouldn't just consent to their own domination, but would come to love it. Remember those polished chains I mentioned at the beginning? Now imagine that the slave doesn't just love them, but sincerely believes they're his only protection against the hostile world out there. That without them, he would be lost, vulnerable, incomplete. That was the ultimate goal Huxley identified. Huxley used the word malevolent to describe this form of revolution because it attacked the very essence of what makes us human, our capacity for free and conscious choice. It transformed our greatest virtue, the capacity to love, into our greatest weakness. And here comes the question that should keep you awake at night. Are you sure your passions are really yours? The scientific foundation for this type of mind control was discovered by Russian scientist Ivan Pavlov. His experiments revealed something disturbing about how the mind works under extreme stress. When an organism was subjected to intense psychological pressure, its mental resistance simply crumbled. Pavlov discovered that in states of maximum stress, the mind becomes extraordinarily vulnerable to suggestion. Any idea implanted at this critical moment becomes deeply embedded in the psyche, making it almost impossible to remove later. It's as if the brain, overloaded, drops all its defenses. What's most impressive is that religious and political leaders had been using this technique intuitively for centuries, long before Pavlov scientifically explained how it worked. Think about the great religious revivals in history. Preachers didn't choose random times for their sermons. They waited for moments of social crisis, famine, war, or epidemic. When people were emotionally broken, it was the perfect moment. The technique was always the same. First, you generate as much psychological stress as possible. You talk about imminent dangers, terrible threats, catastrophic consequences. You push the person to the limit of their mental resistance. And then, at the exact moment when they're about to break, you offer relief. This relief doesn't come alone. It comes accompanied by a specific solution, a particular ideology, a determined way of seeing the world. The person, desperate to escape psychological torment, accepts everything without question. And more than that, they develop deep gratitude toward whoever offered them salvation. Medieval preachers were masters of this art. They spent hours describing the horrors of hell in vivid and terrifying detail. When the audience was in complete despair, terrorized about their eternal fate, the preacher offered salvation through the church. The conversion wasn't just intellectual. It was emotional, visceral, almost physical. This same technique was adapted for the modern political context with devastating results. Authoritarian leaders learn to create artificial crises and then present themselves as saviors. They generate the problem and then sell the solution. But this is just the beginning. When you combine terror with psychological techniques of acceptance, something extraordinary happens in the human mind. Even under brutal oppression, the individual can develop a perverse form of affection for their oppressor. This goes far beyond simple obedience through fear. Psychologists identified this phenomenon in extreme situations and gave it the name Stockholm Syndrome. But what few realize is that this doesn't just happen in kidnappings or extreme situations. This dynamic can be reproduced in entire societies. The secret lies in alternating periods of pressure with moments of relative relief. Gradually, the victim stops resisting and begins to anticipate moments of relief as if they were gifts from the oppressor. Over time, this gratitude transforms into something deeper. The victim begins to rationalize their situation, finding reasons to justify the oppressor's behavior. They develop an emotional identification with their captors, defending them against external criticism. At the social level, this manifests as entire populations defending regimes that clearly act against their interests. They don't just tolerate oppression, they celebrate it. But there's an alternative to direct terror that's even more effective: non-violent mind control techniques. Suggestion, hypnosis, and subtle forms of psychological manipulation that operate below the threshold of normal consciousness. Studies revealed something fascinating about the distribution of human vulnerability to these techniques. Approximately 20% of the population is highly suggestible. These people respond quickly to hypnosis, propaganda, and social influence. Another 20% are almost completely immune to these methods. The rest of the population falls somewhere in the middle. This statistic is absolutely crucial for understanding how human masses can be shaped and controlled. You don't need to convince everyone. You just need to focus on the most vulnerable 20% and use them to influence the middle ground. The highly suggestible become your natural evangelists. They don't just accept your ideas, they propagate them with genuine fervor. They do the conversion work for you. One of the most revealing experiments about the power of suggestion involved morphine and distilled water. Patients received injections of distilled water, but were told they were receiving morphine for pain. Surprisingly, many of them experienced real pain relief, indistinguishable from the effect of real morphine. This demonstrates that the human mind can produce real physical effects based solely on belief. If you can implant the right belief in someone's mind, you can literally alter their physical reality. For the skilled manipulator, knowing who responds to social placebo is a weapon of immense power. These people become natural amplifiers of any message you want to spread. And this is only half the story. From a political standpoint, controlling the most suggestible 20% of the population is enough to change governments and rewrite entire societies. These individuals form a core of fanatical support capable of influencing elections, social movements, and even revolutions. Adolf Hitler understood this dynamic better than any leader of his era. He discovered that physically fatigued and mentally exhausted people were much more susceptible to suggestion. That's why his rallies were organized at specific times and lasted for hours on end. He scheduled his events for the end of the day, when people were already tired from work. He kept them standing for long periods, subjected to loud music, intense lights, and heat. When he finally took the stage, the audience was in an altered state of consciousness, ready to absorb any message. The constant repetition of simple phrases, combined with dramatic gestures and calculated pauses, created an almost hypnotic effect. People left these events completely transformed, carrying not just new ideas, but new feelings about themselves and their place in the world. Modern technology has multiplied this power exponentially. An ancient demagogue could speak to a few hundred or at most, a few thousand people at once. Their modern successors speak instantly to millions through radio, television, and the internet. This technological amplification doesn't just increase reach, it intensifies the psychological effect. The human voice, when electronically amplified, gains an almost supernatural quality. It penetrates not just the ears, but seems to vibrate directly in the person's nervous center. Moving images have an even greater hypnotic power. Television and cinema can literally alter the viewer's brainwave patterns, inducing states ranging from deep relaxation to extreme agitation. But the internet has taken this to a completely new level. Today, algorithms know more about you than your best friend. Now propaganda can be personalized for each individual based on their specific fears, particular desires, and unique vulnerabilities. Algorithms analyze your behavior and deliver exactly the type of content you're most likely to accept and share. The result? We live in customized information bubbles, where each person receives a slightly different version of reality. And we don't even notice. Whoever possesses such powerful tools of mental manipulation will inevitably be tempted to abuse them. This isn't a question of individual morality. It's an almost physical law of human nature. Power corrupts, and absolute power over human minds corrupts absolutely. The central moral question isn't whether these techniques will be used, but how we can structure our society to limit the temptations of those who control them. How can we create safeguards that protect our mental autonomy, even when it's under sophisticated attack? The traditional answer has been democracy and separation of powers, but these institutions were created to deal with more primitive forms of power abuse. They may not be adequate to face mind manipulation technologies that operate below the radar of normal consciousness. The most subtle danger comes when regimes apply mind control techniques under the pretext of protecting or educating the population. They present manipulation as medicine, propaganda as education, and control as paternal care. This moral makeup makes abuse much harder to detect and resist. When someone says they're doing something for your own good, how do you argue against it? How do you prove you're being manipulated when the manipulator claims to be just trying to help you? We see this today in multiple forms: campaigns that use propaganda techniques to modify behaviors, programs that implant specific ideologies under the guise of education, and policies that constantly expand surveillance and control powers. The pattern is always the same. Identify a real problem. Propose a solution that requires greater control over people. Implement this solution with promises that it will be temporary and limited, and then gradually expand it until control becomes permanent and total. The genius of this method lies in how it co-opts our own goodness against us. George Orwell painted the darkest picture of what this process could become. In 1984, he described a society where the state had managed to completely eliminate natural human emotions, sexuality, family loyalties, and even intellectual curiosity. In Orwell's world, these fundamental human characteristics were replaced by absolute devotion to the political party. People didn't just obey. They loved their obedience. They found meaning and purpose only in serving the system that had stripped them of everything that made them human. The most powerful image in the book is the boot stomping on the human face forever. Not a boot that steps once and then moves away, but one that remains there forever, crushing any attempt to lift your head, to breathe freely, to see beyond the ground. Orwell wasn't writing science fiction. He was extrapolating trends he saw developing around him. He observed how governments were learning to use technology and psychology to penetrate ever more deeply into the private and mental lives of their citizens. What haunted him most was the possibility that people wouldn't just tolerate this invasion, but would come to desire it. Today, we face exactly the question that worried Orwell. Where is the line between legitimate measures for society's good and control mechanisms that become ends in themselves? How do we distinguish between genuine protection and disguised domination? The answer isn't simple because the same methods can be used both to help and to control. The difference often lies in the intention of those applying these techniques and the limits they voluntarily impose on themselves. But here's the problem. Who defines what is society's good? Who decides which behaviors need to be modified? Who determines when an emergency is serious enough to justify exceptional measures? And most importantly, who watches the watchers? History teaches us that temporary power has a strange tendency to become permanent. Emergency measures are rarely completely reversed. Each crisis leaves behind new precedents, new authorities, new control mechanisms that remain dormant until the next opportunity for use. And perhaps the most disturbing question of all, if these techniques really work to modify harmful behaviors, why not use them? The defense of human freedom doesn't begin with grand heroic gestures or public demonstrations. It begins at the most basic level, with each individual taking responsibility to protect their own mind against manipulation. This means developing healthy skepticism toward messages that appeal primarily to emotions. It means questioning information that confirms exactly what you already believe. It means seeking diverse sources of information, especially those that make you feel uncomfortable. It means recognizing that your mind isn't an impenetrable fortress, but a vulnerable system that can be hacked by people who understand how it works. It means accepting that even your deepest convictions may have been implanted by others. Above all, it means never stopping asking questions. The moment you stop questioning, the moment you accept that certain ideas are beyond debate, is the moment you hand over your mind for others to control. Mental freedom is like a muscle. If you don't exercise it regularly, it atrophies. If you always agree with the crowd, always accept the official version, always choose the path of least resistance, you gradually lose the ability to think independently. Don't let this happen. The responsibility is yours. You are the only guardian of your own mind, the only protector of your capacity for free choice. No one else can do this for you. The future of human freedom will be decided by millions of ordinary individuals making daily choices about how to use their minds. It will be decided by you. Start exercising your critical thinking today. Question the news you read, the ads you see, the politicians who speak in your name. Always ask, who benefits if I believe this? What emotion are they trying to awaken in me? Why do they want me to feel this now? And when you look in the mirror tomorrow morning, ask yourself the question that could change everything. Are these polished chains I carry mine or someone else's? The worst prison is the one you defend. And the worst slavery is the one you call freedom. If this video shattered some comfortable illusion in your mind, if it planted a seed of doubt you can no longer ignore, then subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Because the war for your mind has already begun, and you need to decide which side you're on. To help you, I've prepared exclusive material here for the channel with symbolic value. Check it out in the first pinned comment. See you in the next video.
They say sovereign citizens are engaged in paper terrorism. No, that's you. They like to take property without warrants. They like to do administrative procedure without the proper process and procedure and due process. You know, they like to take complaints as claims with nobody on the other side and then administrate property or take property that doesn't belong to them because everyone's been coerced to register the property as part of the state. So they claim the state of has an interest in that property because it's registered to the state of. Right. They try to work within the boundaries or completely ignore the boundaries of what proper process and procedure is. I even caught them many times trying to charge more than what they were allowed to by code. Their law, not our law, but the code is law for them. It's supposed to keep them in line. And so, this is just kind of where we're at, where even if you look at the code and follow the code, they're not following. It will say they cannot charge more than, let's say, $10 a day for storage of that car. And they'll try to hit you with 30, 40, 50. So you call them out on it and say, hey, state code says you can't charge more than 10, and then they adjust the bill. So they're just doing whatever they want to do. They're in RICO. This is racketeering because you have multiple corporations getting together to do paper terrorism by definition, because they're attempting to try to force everyone into their political science corporate endeavor, right? Man and woman does not have to register their property and title it something other than what it is by original condition. We know that this is federally defined, the difference between an automobile and a motor vehicle. The average slave is never going to go read it. If they do go read it, they're always going to deny the existence of it, even though it's right there. So this is the purpose of the title when an automobile is sold, is that before you ever get into it and ride it off the lot, they take it to the back and they send it over to the DMV and they generate a registration and a new title for that automobile as a motor vehicle, which is defined as a commercial instrument. So it's called unlawful conveyance, among other things, right? It's essentially fraud. They're without giving full notice of what's going on, unlawfully converting property and people from one status, standing, condition, and state of interest and equity to another status, standing, condition, state of beingness, and equity or lack thereof, right? So, you know, and don't kid yourself, this whole thing is going that way. That's the point of digital currency. I believe, I can't prove it. Bitcoin, blockchain, a digitized reality, and a tokenization of everybody's beingness. They already did it. They already did it last time they took the gold and silver away. They brought in public safety code, statute, policy, and code, overlaid an AI reality of governance over the natural reality. And they've essentially, by convincing everyone to interact with this artificial intelligence we call governance, moved everyone away from their supernatural beingness. So now we're so far down the line that a natural man and woman is born into a reality, an artificial reality, where they just believe that corporations are their daddy and mommy, that policy and code is their law, that they don't have any right to property or to own their own home or their own land without paying tribute to use it in the form of tax. This is absolutely, I would say, absurd and unheard of if it wasn't the one theme that we've experienced in history from the beginning of time, right? It is the one thing from the beginning of time that we experience in history is from land to land, these groups get together, they're inhabited by a spiritual force that seeks to take us away from who and what we are naturally and insert us into an artificial reality. And I got news for you. They're not stopping at statute, policy, and code, state of, and the idea of corporate governance. They're going all the way with it, if you haven't noticed. So the next leg up of this is beyond slavery. We're going to the genocide portion, if you haven't noticed. And that's okay, because I'm not here fear-mongering. Fear doesn't do anyone any good anyway. Ultimately, if I am talking about what the reality seems to be, and it is that, well, then it's there to compel us to become more faithful, to have faith in our own conscience that God put there, to have faith that there's an order above and beyond what we see day to day, more and more in this world, and a faith that we will be delivered from that if we attempt to do what's true and what's right and stay in alignment. I don't know anything else at this point.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We're back at it. I already checked the phone line. It's up and running. Call in 602-730-0122. The link is also down there. I'll throw it again. We're deep in the algorithm already, right off the bat. The Trump tards are here. They can't help themselves. They can't stop themselves. They're already projecting, rejecting. They're already showing their ignorance and arrogance in their collectivist ways. So we have AWAC here. I love when you guys show up and you get baited into my algorithmic bait and switch, and then you start projecting your nonsense, because then I get to use you to play off of you to point out how you're all mind and heart controlled on both sides, and why democracy / collectivism / statism is un-American, and it is definitely not great. So AWAC started us off quick by projecting onto me that I'm a communist, because a lot of you Republitards listen to Fox Noise and you just project onto anyone and everything that doesn't suck Big Daddy's ding dong, Donnie Trump. Definition of communism: system in which goods are owned in common, are available to all as needed. A theory advocating elimination of private property. Isn't that interesting? So it turns out you're so uninformed and you're such a dunce that we're already in communism, because everybody's registering their body, their cars, their homes, their property, and they're paying tax or tribute to use their own property because that property is registered in the public. So technically, as it stands right now, legally, none of you folks have private property. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that cute? So I'm the actual real conservative here, real Republican here, real American here, who advocates for living under God with natural rights and a limited and or no government interference with our pursuit of happiness and or property and or expression of our natural rights. That's not you. You Trump tards aren't Republicans and conservatives. You're statist collectivists. You vote for masters to get in a corporate position, because United States is defined in U.S. Code 1A as a federal corporation, and you need a president, a vice president, and a treasurer to run a business, to have a legal corporation in business. Okay, so you folks are duped, you're deluded, you've been mind and heart controlled by the public full system, and you've been used as a proxy to overtake the foundational law of the land. And it's working pretty decent, right? The last 5 years proved it. You're still sucking Big Daddy's little ding dong after he locked you down and vaxxed you and taxed you and laxed you, because a lot of you folks are laxed, right? You don't know where you are. You don't know what's going on. You're just sort of lackadaisical. Okay, so we're going to get right to it. Go ahead and call in if you got the link down there, which you do. I think I already dropped it, but I'll drop it again. Feel free to come in, come up, call in, whatever you got to do. Show your ignorance and arrogance and foolishness, like always, and I'll be here to serve up the truth and the reality that lies within the middle ground of the two-winged collectivist bird-like party that expresses its statist fascistic ways through policy and code, telling men and women what they're going to do and not do, while then on the back end claiming it's a free country. Rather fascinating. Jesus was a good gangster. Should we go there first? Yeah, why not? Jesus was a good gangster, Russian mob boss, grim hustle, and then we'll go from there.
Sometimes people ask me, Druha, what do you think of Jesus Christ? Jesus Christ was a good, honorable gangster. Let me explain why. Number one, he started from nothing, a poor carpenter, and rose to a king. In any time, it is rare that a man goes from nothing to the top. Number two, he built his own gang, the disciples, and treated them very well. He knew that the number one of assets in life is your loyal people, your gang, your group, your brotherhood. Number three, loyalty for him was number one. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friend. A good gangster put loyalty on number one, because a rat in your ranks can bring your end very quickly. Number four, he said no to the state and break the law again and again until he was killed for it. And he died with honor. Number five, he reject all false authorities. He only accept the true one. And he accept the pain if it serves the highest authority. My father, if it possible, may this cup be taken from me, yet not as I will, but as you will. Listen to that again. Number six, he has strong purpose in life, and he never changed it, despite the biggest part of the society spit on him every fucking day. And, of course, the most important reason, number seven, he understood that suffering and death will be your friend, your teacher. It will make you beyond powerful if you have lived your life in honor of God. Jesus Christ was a good, honorable gangster, a true Stoic, and a Messiah at the same time. We all need role models for dark, grim days. Be honorable.
All right, Barry. Barry's on a roll here today, proving you Trump-tards and collectivists on all sides. It's not just Trump-tards, but proving you collectivists love to lie. You love to lie. It's what you do constantly. It's where you think your power and value is, just constantly bullshitting yourself and everyone else and hoping it never catches up to you. Barry writes, no one was baited. I just know there's a group of flat earthers here. That's a lie. Not a flat earther. I don't purport to know what shape the earth is. I don't believe what one side says. I don't believe what the other side says. Notice there's another theme there. Unlike you, Barry, and all the other collectivist tards, I don't walk around parroting and repeating shit that I've heard that I can't verify as fact. I may speculate, I may presume and assume, but I don't go around saying, the earth is definitely round. Public fool system taught me. The earth is definitely flat. Some guy on the internet taught me. I don't do that because it's nonsensical. Because most things you can't trust. I don't know if you were here the last 4 years where they locked the whole world down and told everyone to stay home because of what was in the air, and take 5 boosters, and even after you take them, they don't work because you still could get sick by someone who doesn't, and all the rest of it, all the way down the line. That was just one PSYOP event, some might say. We can go over dozens of them. Okay, so weird thing, I'm weird like this. I try to ask questions, question sources and false authorities, and I try not to parrot things that I can't conclude as a fact or aren't reasonable and sensible to me as fact, right? I won't repeat a non-fact as a fact. Something you collectivists do constantly. Because again, you think your power and value is in bullshitting yourselves and everyone else and hoping it never catches up. How's that aging for you, by the way? All you left-wingers, right-wingers, how's this working out for you? Just wondering. But again, if you just bullshit yourself and everyone else hard enough, you can convince yourself on the left-wing side or the right-wing side that everything's better when my party's in. When my party's in, everything gets better immediately. Either that or you're all delusional and you're in denial because you're all statist, collectivist, fascist, dunces. You've been mind and heart controlled. It's 1984 all over again. The earth is definitely round. That's a fact. Can you prove it to me here and now? The answer is no. The only thing you can do is cite secondhand hearsay information. That's not proof. It's arguably not even evidence. Because when you go to get the pictures of the earth on the website, NASA, it says these photos have been altered. We don't know what it is. That's the bottom line. For all you dunces who need the truth here, it's shocking and it's a bit testing and challenging. With most of this stuff, the answer is we don't know. I know you're upset by that. Most dunces are upset by this idea of not knowing. So rather than admit to themselves and others they don't know, they make shit up or repeat what their mommies and daddies told them, even if it's completely ridiculous and senseless. That's part of living in a collectivist society, where statute, policy, code is law, where cutting out organs is health, where toxified food and water is organic, where locking you down and treating you like a prisoner is freedom, where boosters that make you keel over are safety, and on and on and on and on. Where democracy is a republic, where voting for masters of a corporation is self-government. Yeah, we can go on and on and on and on about what it's like to live in inversion land with a bunch of backward, inverted Babylonian cretins. Don't know who they are, where they are, what's going on around them. We're here again today, folks. Brother, you don't know. Don't confuse your room temp IQ for how the rest of the world is living in reality. It's the same thing every day when I come on here with you folks. Did you take an IQ test yet, sir? Are you going to come up on panel? Are you going to call in? No, because you're a lying coward with no balls. I have taken multiple IQ tests, and I'm on record. Care to compare results? And that's where it ends, right? This is why we can't make America great again, because half this audience at times is proof of a collectivist dynamic. A bunch of lying cowards who, when asked to put up or shut up, won't shut up because they're insulated, because there's no consequences to them, right? And won't put up because they don't have the facts and the truth and the history and the goods on their side. They just say shit and waddle around this simulation with little to no personal choice and no empowerment and almost zero inspiration. And then they find someone like me, someone who can see and hear and feel and talk. And just like the collectivist zombies, they try to eat his brains. They try to project onto him he doesn't have a brain. That's you. Feel free to call in. Let me know where I'm wrong. Make sure you can support your statement, though. If you're going to make the statement, try to be able to support it in something that resembles a fact or some level of sense. Paul, you are something else, buddy. LMAO, you're not telling me anything I don't already know. That's one of the basis tenets. It's one of the base tenets for doing this broadcast is I'm something else. So is the truth. Something else different from whoever and whatever you all are and how you've been living. Absolutely, that's the case from top to bottom. Lab-grown fat is better than butter. Well, that's what I'm doing physically. I'm lab-growing my own fat. on my frame, so I don't have to continue to eat sticks of butter. I'm going to be the healthiest man in all the land. When you get enough subscribers or change your channel subscribers only, that's a fact. I've had almost 30,000 subscribers at one point. I don't know what that means, and I probably won't do that. I might, though. You never know. I've seen that tactic for a long time. I never really remember to, and I don't really find the need to. I don't know why you're saying that, but I'm interested to hear why you think that I would do that. I actually, again, you think you're laughing at me and trolling on me. I'm laughing at you and trolling on you and using you folks' talking points and nonsensical retorts to do the broadcast, to fuel the broadcast. So, I mean, some of you folks scroll incessantly and make zero sense and give me almost nothing to work with, so I just throw you out, right? But for the rest of you, in a way, when I do these certain trigonometry sessions, and sort of reflective therapy sessions and simulations, I almost need you to make this work if I want it to go the way I want it to go. So I think you're kind of off on that. I like when the left wingers and the right wingers, collectivists and fascist statists are here. They give me something to work off of. They give me something to bounce things off of, right? What are these people even arguing against? The fact that our food is poisoned, our minds are being fucked with a corrupt government is garbage. Who denies these things, I ask? Well, thank you, sir. Like, share, subscribe. We're going to be here for a while. You know, I don't know what to tell you. We got a call in here. 319, are you there?
I am here.
How are you, 319? You got a name for me I can refer to you as?
Edward.
Edward. Okay, Edward, go ahead. Questions, comments, concerns, whatever you'd like.
I would like to discuss how the maggots refuse to deal with reality and will switch sides on any issue when it's plausible for them.
I'm totally open for that. Just please understand, if you are a leftist, quote unquote Democrat, I'm going to bring the heat to you at some point, because I contend what you're saying is true. The only problem is it's true for both sides, right? So I don't play favorites. There's no nepotism here.
Oh, I'm not saying that Democrats don't do this. And okay. I'm not a Democrat. Perfect. I'm very left.
Go.
Very
Give it to me. Give it to me, Daddy. Whatever your name is, Edward 2028 already. I'm already casting votes for Edward for 2028 instead of Donnie and Joey and whoever else. Go ahead, give it to me.
Cool. Hey, who are these Joey people that I should be like bringing into my administration? I've missed that. I just got onto your feed.
It's Joey Biden. John just texted me. John, if you got something you want to talk about.
No. I don't want anything to do with Joey Biden.
Okay, no, go ahead. Come on. I cut you off. I cut you off. I cut you off. I gave you the proviso. Now I want to hear it. The magatards are here. They've all filed in. They're triggered, and they're ready for what you got, man. Lay it out for them, because if you don't, I will.
Okay. So, number one. All the MAGAs screamed and yelled about why Joe Biden wasn't releasing anything.
You mean the list that doesn't exist, right?
Well, the funny thing is that Joe Biden did release what was available to release. He put out a certain amount. Some of it was redacted, and this is the stuff that was given out by Donald Trump in those nice little folders with the whole big, media spectacle of we're releasing the files with Pam Bondi and shit, okay? That was already released by Joe Biden.
Yes, sir. There's literally so much evidence
of this stuff that is not available or a president to release. Now, I'm saying this on both sides. Only certain amounts of it can be released by Joe Biden. Only certain amounts of it can be released by Donald Trump. Maybe Donald Trump can't release any more of it than Joe Biden already did.
No, this is pretty simple. That this is something that's going to tie in so many more people than a lot of folks want it to. People everyone loves, people making a ton of money, people who are part of this pop culture media infrastructure. And if Donnie or Joey actually wanted to put everyone in prison for what they were involved in, it would be a scandal like never before seen. Right? Just like we're seeing Diddy and all the rest of them now. We see what's going on, right? I've had folks on this broadcast who were a part of those activities, famous people.
I'm on your side on this. But I do understand why Joe Biden didn't release it.
Sir, I get what you're saying. I don't know that to be true, but I just have to back away for a second and go, did you hear the part? Okay, let me bring it up for you because I don't think you guys heard it. I've done this 1,000 times, and it's like nobody's heard it. I want to know what you think about this, Edward. No, Edward, tell me what this is. Tell me what this is all about, please. 28 U.S. Code, straight from the horse's mouth, 3002. United States means a federal corporation. What is that? Why are we on America, under God, land of the free, all being coerced or duressed into following the dictates of people in corporate positions? What is that? The definition of fascism is the merger of state and corporate powers. We're completely been taken over. And instead of folks look at how we've been taken over by a foreign corporation and our God-given rights have been converted into privileges and we're all being taxed to use our own fucking property, they're arguing over which side of the corporation is going to run our lives. This is complete insanity. But it's par for the course here in this world because 85% of these folks can't fucking see, hear, feel, talk, or understand a damn thing, it seems, about reality and definitions and words and terms and what's going on here. Okay. It's not about sides. I'm passionate about the truth and getting this understanding out there. Why do you keep saying MAGA? What, can you just make the statement for me? AWAC is so confused. Folks are so confused. I'm arguing with my fans. I'll argue with anybody. Argue means to make the facts clear and presently known. I don't hate this guy or anyone else. I want him to make the truthful statement. Why is he pigeonholing the argument to MAGA? Why don't you say it as it is? Everyone here, the majority of folks here, left-wingers, right-wingers, are not comfortable with reality. They will superimpose or project their own reality or reality they've been given in order to cope and feel better. It's everyone. It's all of them. Why do we always this is how they hack the chimpanzee brain. The chimpanzee brain does this thing where it always goes to this or that, instead of going, it's all fucked. I don't want any of it. Why is that? I got to get to the bottom of my studies of why the human chimpanzee creature's brain is so easily slipped into choose this or that, dualism, right? It's so easily slips into dualism. It's incredible, right? So you just said the MAGA right wingers. Okay, I love this. Even though it seems like I'm upset, deep in my core, beyond the veneer, I love this. I can't get enough. Please tell me how MAGA does it more than the left wingers, because I'm going to go right to killing children, cutting their genitals off, taking pills and drugs to change their reality. We could go to each side and point out how it's like patently obvious that both sides do this. And I could even argue the left wingers do it more. You're making the statement the right wingers do it more. I'm saying they're all doing it. Why are we competing over who's the biggest loser? But go ahead, humor me, entertain me. Why does MAGA do it more than the leftists? Nothing? You got nothing, huh? Okay.
Constantly.
So this
I'm
whole
not
time,
raising my voice, and you seem to be getting a little triggered about things.
has he not been heard the whole time since I started this non-versation, as I've coined the term? Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Some folks are saying they can't hear you. Some folks are saying they can. Okay, now you're going to the whole I'm triggered thing. Okay, we can tone police, we can police my emotions, or we could just stick to the facts. I'm okay. You're okay.
Well,
I'm not going to hurt you. Go ahead.
Let's just get back to the conversation.
Sure. How does MAGA and the Trump tards deny reality more than the leftists?
I'm going to use some facts here, and you may not like these, but a lot of MAGA or the Make America Great Again Trump movement likes to listen to Fox News. Now, they have been sued and had to pay a huge amount of money, almost $1 billion, for lying to people.
And you're claiming the left-wing media doesn't do that? Please say you're claiming that.
I'm pretty sure that there is no, what you would consider left-wing media, like MSNBC, CNN, that has been sued for anywhere near that amount of money.
Oh, and that's great logic, because if they've been sued but it hasn't been that much money, then it's different somehow. Or if they haven't been sued at all,
I would also suggest that the ABC settlement was ABC giving in to Donald Trump.
So they did have a settlement because they were both lying and they did have to pay out, but there's a reason why.
ABC was lying. I think ABC gave in to Donald Trump so he didn't shut them off.
Sure, it could be argued. It could be argued if it could be argued if
Donald Trump will shut down anybody that doesn't like him.
And the answer to that is not giving into it. Then, if you can't claim two opposing ideas and make it make sense, if Donnie's doing terrorism and tyranny, and ABC didn't lie and they're not wrong.
I didn't say terrorism and tyranny. I never used either of those words.
I'm using those words
in my mouth,
I'm using those words by definition because they fit. You probably wouldn't know if you haven't opened the dictionary in a while. Whatever you're claiming he's doing, this is beyond moronic at this point. You're literally sitting in front of a live audience. This broadcast was filmed in front of a live audience. You're sitting in front of a live audience right now, claiming left-wing media doesn't.
Miller played.
Right.
Yeah,
you're meathead right now.
You had it made.
Hey, cool it, cool it, will you, with this leftism, eh? Meathead over here is a little confused. Yeah, you're meathead right now.
Exactly.
You're saying
nice reference, man. Good reference on that one.
Thank you. I try to hit the wide swath of age ranges. To be
I'll tell you when you're right.
Sir, have you been drinking today? That's the bottom line I want to get down to. I can't believe you just said what you just said. Little bit. Okay. Well, that makes more sense then.
No, but what I said was when you made the meathead reference, I said, I'll tell you when you're right.
Yeah, man, come on. We got to get really real with ourselves and each other, man. I got no horse in either race, which makes it easier for me to be objective about it. You seem like you do.
If you want to have an argument about something, then we'll have an argument a little bit. No, I really don't.
Dude. The leftist media backed Donnie on lockdowns and shots and kept repeating safe and effective. and they're still repeating it. And you're claiming the leftist media isn't lying to its people? It was just involved in one of the biggest frauds and hoaxes and medical tyrannies in human history. You're really going to make this argument right now? Do you think that this is prudent at this time? You think this is the most opportune time to make this fucking argument once again? Instead of just recognizing it for what it sadly and tragically is? Whenever you guys are ready. Can you
say your argument there again about?
Yeah, we're deep in slavery and genocide. We're deep in slavery and genocide. There are open concentration camps operating on various lands, backed by U.S. corporation, regardless of what they say.
Dude, I'm on your side on this not being a good thing.
You keep saying that, but you won't make the objective, generalized statement that encompasses the whole. You keep focusing on this MAGA thing. Make the correct statement. We're in fascism. We're in statism. We're in collectivism.
Yes,
it never goes well. They're all fucked. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you on medication? That's the next question I want to go. How many vaccines did you take, Sarah? They might be kicking in. They're kicking in right now. Is maybe what it is.
Yes, I might die in my chair right now because of one I had 2 years ago.
Well, no, you might die in your chair because the left-wing media,
you're putting a smile on my face with that.
The left-wing media says sarcasm and exposure to sun leads to heart attacks and strokes right after the shot. So
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've only heard one person say that. It's not widespread on the left-wing media, but one person has said that.
All right, give me some final thoughts and final words here. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to open it up to other folks who want to call in. 602-730-0122 or click the panel link. Questions, comments, concerns. The narrative is right now, the narrative is Donald Trump ruined America. Excuse me?
I'm going to give you some final thoughts.
Go ahead, sir.
I thought it was fun having a conversation with you. I'm going to call back again. I'm going to do this again.
I agree.
And I hope you don't block my number.
No, not going to block you. You put up with me. You put forth your perspective.
I watch you all the time on YouTube. And I have you subscribed, and I like you every time.
That gives you less credibility with a lot of folks. Just know that, okay? I want you to know that.
Well, and I fuck with people in your chat while I'm there. So, I'm a complete idiot that apparently doesn't understand what I'm doing.
Well, that is possible. That is possible. We don't know yet, though. The Honorable Judge on Slavius hasn't made his ruling for now. We're going to stay this proceeding and go to continuance. And we look forward to hearing from you again, Edward. Not a bad interaction.
Give me a date, and I'll call in for my next fucking hearing.
Whenever I'm on, when are you free? When do you want to schedule this hearing for? Whenever I'm on next, Edward. Just pop up, man.
I can do it mornings, afternoons, evenings, any day of the week.
Well, you're not too good of a leftist. I don't know why you're sticking up for these leftists. You say you're not a leftist, but you're sticking up for them. You're confusing me in the audience. But
no. You see, you're making the distinction that leftists and Democrats are the same thing.
Okay,
so
that's interesting. What's the difference?
You get your guns back, bro.
Okay, I get that. I get where you're going with that. And again, this is why
I think AOC and Bernie don't do enough.
Oh, please hold there, Edward. Or I want to take this other call. I can't believe he just said that. Every time I think it's over, he outdoes himself. 575, are you there?
Hello, yes.
Yeah, the socialist, communist, Marxists aren't doing enough. They need to get out there more. Oh my God. Yeah.
Is this live or what?
You're live as you're going to get. Are you a living person?
Yeah, it is. But I thought you were talking to Edward.
Yeah, I am. I put him on hold. I want to get to you.
Okay, this is Barry, buddy. This is Barry, the original, the one and only.
Barry McCockiner. Good to hear and see from you. Okay, what is the real one? Give it to me. Hit me over the head.
let me tell you something. I agree with, and I'm not just kissing ass or anything like that. I agree with a lot of things that you're saying about the government and society and all that thing. But I don't understand where you think you're gonna go with. We need to have some sort of structure. There's got to be one side or the other. Where do you think you're gonna go with this? Like, go off and live on your own compound or what?
Well, that's what I'm already working on, sir. But again, I don't make presumptions and assumptions about what will happen from a fear-based perspective. I look at what is, and then I determine what's not needed beyond a certain point, right? So with me, my teaching, my understanding is very Taoist in that way. It's not about adding on a bunch of crap that gets in the way. It's about taking away all the extra crap that's getting in the way of us being successful and prosperous as a community, as a society, right? If you want to call it that.
So is that government what you're talking about, or what is it?
Well, no, there's always going to be governance, right? The truest governance is self-governance. And then when we fail to govern ourselves and cause loss, injury, and harm or owe a debt, then the system theoretically is supposed to be there for us to address grievances, right? If I back into your lawnmower, right? If I run your toe over, if I whatever, cause you a loss, injury, or harm, or owe you a debt, then the courts and the system, the corporate system, is there to address that grievance, right? In order to compensate or generate a civilized remedy and resolution, so we don't go to beating each other over the head indefinitely, right? So we don't have family feuds that go on intergenerationally.
So you're against like the people like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and folks like that, or what's your view on politics?
I'm not necessarily against any of it. It just occurs to me that statism, fascism, collectivism is bottom of the barrel detritus. It does not produce successful, co-creative, prosperous societies. Quite the opposite. It produces a bunch of brain dead, drugged out slaves who don't know where they're at and where they're going, appealing to their corporate masters for entitlement programs, handouts, or opportunities in life. Right. So I want America to be great again, quote unquote. And the way we do that is by raising a whole generation of great men and women. And no, that's not a group of people who appeals to fascism, statism, and collectivism. It's a group of people who works, saves, invests, lives free, takes care of their responsibilities and accountabilities, grows their own food, harvests their own clean water, and lives a good life as a human being, and isn't lorded over by a bunch of politicians and corporations. This shouldn't be that difficult to conceive of, right? I mean, the Amish are doing it all day, every day. I'm essentially advocating for all of America to be turned over to the Amish culture and society. That's the best way you could understand it.
Yeah. So backtracking in modern society, like, is what you're talking about?
If you want to call it that, I'm not even saying we can't use the technology. I have solar going right now. I have Elon's slave link going right now. I have this computer right now. And as long as our guideline is a common law, common sense approach, causing loss, injury, or harm, or owing a debt. So what does that mean? It means you want governance, do it to your heart's content, as long as you make sure it's upholding everybody's rights and actually keeping everyone safe instead of genociding everyone. Hello? Is this common sense here? So Donnie should be testing Elon's slave link to find out what the fuck it's doing to our environment and our atmosphere. And if it's doing something bad, shut her down. Get it right.
Well, so you don't lean left or right, huh?
I just don't see the purpose. Ultimately, no matter what you choose, they're going to game you and pimp on you and deceive you and use you as a power base. So it really doesn't matter. And the more I opt out, the more I can make a case in front of these people that I'm not part of their society. And I may interact with their society and various person, places, or things, but I'm not subject to their statute, policy, and code. I don't vote. I don't pay to run their corporation. Right? I'm out of it as much as possible. I want no contracts with the state of corporation, and I want no duties and obligations that I'm owed to the legal society. Right? I want no bond of performance. I want no bonds created between me and any of these corporate personnel to compel me to perform for them. If anything, they're my servants. They perform for me when I need them to perform. Right?
Can I ask you something?
Absolutely.
At what point or at what age or what what caused you to start thinking this way?
After seeing 9/11, I was about 12 years old. It just didn't seem right to me. I started looking into it. I was about 18 or 19 when I realized we've been lied to. I started looking deeper, and I realized we've been lied to about every major war. We could go to Clausen, the Israeli lobbyist / politician. I got the clip. He stood up in front of everybody, said, this war was this war was that, this war was this war was that. We have that all on record. Our boys are floating in the water. Lie. Pearl Harbor, they knew before it was coming. Lie. 911, same deal. NORAD flew the planes to the other side of the country. 3 buildings, 2 planes, bombs in the building, bomb sniffing dogs, dancing Israelis. We can go on and on and on. Put options that day. Insurance company 6 weeks before with Larry Silverstein. All the fraud and corruption is there. The chain of title is there over and over again. So at a certain point, I say, I'm done. I'm out. This is Babylon. These people are all working together. They're profiteering off causing loss, injury, and harm, and they're criminalizing the individual with their legal codes and their corporations who aren't doing any loss, injury, and harm. It's a complete mafioso corporate takeover by a bunch of inauthentic corporate males.
You know what? Some of the things that you're talking about right now, I totally agree with you, and I didn't think we were gonna. We're not so far apart, man. We're not so far apart, and I'm surprised to tell you the truth, but
I know that, sir. That's why I laugh at you guys when you come into my chat and try to insult me and play games. You're putting me through my paces and putting me through the test. Beyond the bullshit and the nonsense and you wanting to hope and cope, you know what I'm saying is true. And you know you agree with me at the core. You just don't know what the fuck we're going to do about it. And that's where I
voted for Donald Trump. Yeah, exactly. It's because, I voted for Donald Trump, but I agree with a bunch of things you're saying, dude. I agree with a bunch of things you're saying.
Your boy
the government is screwing us over.
I'd be the first person here if your boy came out and shocked all of us. I'd be the first person here to say I was wrong, or at least say, hey, we don't know yet. But I mean, come on, man. They're still hitting me with the QAnon, 5D chess, this, that, and the third. We're done. We're over. At this point, where we're at on the timeline, with what's in the water and the skies that they're testing, with what they just did the last 5 years, nothing short of coming out and literally basically being like Hitler, oddly enough, is going to do it.
Yeah, everybody thinks we're going to get the answer.
If you're going to play this corporation and authoritarianism, then he should come out like the tyrant and the monarch that he wants to be and use it for good. I'm not saying that I would support that or agree with that, but at least I wouldn't think he's completely in bed with all these people and funding all this crap. Telling people he's not going to do disaster relief on cities that are flooded and burned if they don't support the state of Israel. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah, you know what, bro? Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm very surprised that I agree with almost everything that you're just saying. And, you got yourself a new supporter, man.
Listen, bro, it ain't about me having a supporter. It's about all of us supporting the truth and standing on it and not letting these motherfuckers pimp and game us from both sides. It's fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, well, we need to get this movement going a lot stronger.
Because at the end of the day, bro, I'll give you the same speech Donnie has to give you. I can't do nothing that's going to lead to any long-term change if you motherfuckers on the ground aren't going to take the banner and run with it and live free and question these people and uphold the law of the land.
Let me ask you one more thing. Do you love your country?
Of course I do, sir. Would I be risking my life over and over again and going to jail and having years over my head and not hiring attorneys and speaking for myself if I didn't love the truth and love this land and have some care for myself and my and our future and want to uphold the law of this land and exercise rights? Why else would I be doing that?
I love it, man. I love it, man. Well, you know what, bro? Me and you we're similar thinking, and I never expected that. Right now with this phone call, I thought we were going to argue and be insulting each other and all that, and it didn't go that way, and I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you as well, and I respect the productive dialogue. And let's go to the other side. If it's not me loving myself and the people and the land in the future, we'll come at it from a hate side of things because they say I'm full of hate. Maybe that is what's animating all this. I can't stand and detest a group of inauthentic, cowardly corporate males telling me what I'm going to do in my life. It's that simple. Doesn't have to be anything above or beyond that. As selfish and self-indulgent as I am, you can just leave it right at that. For the longest time, back to middle school, have detested a bunch of cowards in my face telling me what I'm going to do.
Well, you know what, brother? All I can say is keep the movement going, man. I agree with you, man. I didn't think I would, but I agree with you, man.
The truth is the truth, Barry. I appreciate you. Final words for the audience. We're going to open up the line for some other folks.
I love my country. I love my country. Let's keep this fight going. And God bless America, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, Barry.
All right. Have a good one.
You as well. All right, folks. See, just beyond the veneer, the testing, challenging, triggering is the core principles and value systems, which you could argue make us human, right? So we can do the games in the chat. We can push back on me and project onto me. And I get it. You got to test my mettle and see what I'm about and what position I stand on. Great. I can give you the goods. I only wish you folks would do this with everybody else where it matters, right? Hold them accountable, test and challenge them, question them, stand on something, see what they got to really offer you. If it's little to nothing, next. Stop playing into this. It's a spiritual dynamic. You folks are all in judgment. If you step back from the people, places, and things and look at the paperwork and what the story shows billions of people for thousands of years begging their masters to give them service. What's the service? We're going to run your life with statute, policy, and code. And we're going to interfere with your private property, pursuit of happiness, and your God-given rights. And we're going to call it freedom and safety and self-governance and all the rest of it. So it's no coincidence. You can't stop an idea whose time has come. And we're in a looping simulation here, light age, dark age cycle, just like the sun, daytime, nighttime, right? So we're coming back around. We're doing final approach, right? Just some of us are out ahead of the curve. That's the definition of genius in the face of insanity. Some of us are a couple decades out ahead of the curve. Some of us are carrying this banner and living this truth. Some of us are opening doors and making a way for and creating opportunities for everyone else to file in, have their personal choice, have the law of the land upheld, be able to exercise your rights. Be recognized at court, have some status and standing, interest and equity in this matter. Okay? So again, if you got questions, comments, concerns, the link is down there, panel, non-panel, 602-730-0122. The main idea of this, beyond the spiritual component, right? Thoughts, emotions translated into actions, is understanding the difference between the dual jurisdictions, the legal and lawful idea, private and public. Okay, statute, policy, and code versus the law of the land. We have to understand this. We have to apply this. We have to get results with this so we can be recognized at court, so we can have status and standing within this system without living within this system, right? So that this system and its agents can take notice and say, these people aren't getting slaved up anymore. They're not going along to get along. They're questioning. They're stating claims. Right? They're having an effect. Now you're in the conversation, right? For the longest time, most of you haven't been in the conversation. You're a non-entity. As far as the courts are concerned, U.S. corporation and the record shows, you're a non-entity. All that shows on that book is you pay 30% of whatever you get yearly to beg them for services. That's all the record shows. But now, more and more, as the wake-up has been happening, the tests and challenges are here. The questioning is here. And we're all going more and more on record as a living being, right? With the living God. So now they're going to have to take notice. Now they're going to have to either recognize and uphold our original status and standing, or they're going to have to go full on with their tyranny and really come out in the open. I wouldn't put it past them, but that hasn't been our result so far. So I'm not going to poison the well, because I was guy number one who I was living with fear. I was living thinking these people are going to come for us anytime now. I'm not saying that couldn't still happen, but that's not what's been shown with myself and many folks who've come here who've tried this stuff out. The courts have actually given them a wink and a nod at times, told them, listen, we see what you're doing. We respect it. We know we need it. We can't tell you what to do. We can't even openly support it. But we understand it's what's needed, right? It's the craziest dynamic ever, like we're living a movie where your supposed opposition is giving you the wink and the nod because they know, just like Barry knows, beyond the veneer, beyond the process and procedure and the games every day and the political science, they know at their core, If they don't give the wink and the nod to the free men, the sovereign citizens, and uphold the law and exercise rights, we're all fucked. They know it. They don't want to believe it. They don't want to cop to it in public. But in their core, they're scared. They're afraid. They know where this goes historically. They don't want to lose their pretty and nice things. And they understand in order to not lose your pretty and nice things, you got to have a population of strong, empowered, inspired men who uphold the law of the land. If you don't have that, then some inauthentic corporate males and their buddies are going to take your shit. And they're going to use a system to do it. Okay? They know it. A lot of these judges, attorneys, prosecutors, they go to divorce court. They go to family court. They know what's going on right now. Whether they're in it or not, they see where it all is and where it's going, and they know what happens historically at these times. We all do. It's written into the fabric of our beingness epigenetically. There's no denying it. All right, let's go to the clips. The link is down there. I can't stress that enough. I like the interactions. I like audience interactions. Nathan Abner saying gay ginger. Well, thank you for noticing. I didn't know you cared. What are you doing later, Nathan? Not a negotiable instrument, or that a count from a deceased estate or dead entity at birth on a piece of paper or document. Kay Mason doing the what's that guy? David Wynn Miller, I think. Quantum syntax grammar. He's doing it. You got to watch this guy. Gotta watch these people. You have all the answers to my personal problems. Thank you. Well, I try. See? I don't know if it's all your personal problems, because I don't have all the answers to my own personal problems, but I have an overarching, I seem to have an overarching understanding of why we do what we do on certain levels, and why that needs to change for the individual and the collective. It's pretty self-explanatory, I would contend. It sucks. Biden just got us involved with Russia-Ukraine war. Remember Trump's first term when this war wasn't happening? Blah, blah, blah. More nonsense. You're not getting it. You just don't get it. You're lying to yourself and everyone else. The idiot goes, and when I say idiot, dunce, retard, it's with the utmost disrespect, okay? So don't be offended by this. It's just that you're off in never land. You're off in never. Where's Penal Power? I need a Scott Stapp backup. So did you catch the war on drugs when Donnie was in office? You weren't there for that, were you? Did you catch the lockdowns and the war on the air and the germs in the room? And were you there for that? You were there for that, right? Right. So you're going to sit right here and tell me Donnie's a president, like the other guy tells me Donnie's not a war president. Do you not count war on your own people? Do you not understand the definition of Cold War? Do you not understand the idea of economic warfare? Hello. So you guys just say shit. You're not interested if it's real and true. It just makes you feel better. You're on a cope trip. Trip to Copeland. It's Kenneth Copeland. That's what these people are. That's what this place is, like that preacher. Bunch of devilish folks lying to themselves and each other, and that's where they live full time. Copeland. Okay, so Donnie was a part of the wars. Every single U.S. corporate president's been part of the wars. The first war is war on its own people. Through legal statute, policy, and code, by criminalizing a bunch of individuals for engaging in rights, guns, drugs. Should I go on? I know. A lot of you inauthentic corporate males think guns and drugs are un-American. No, it's the most American thing you can do, some would argue. Because it's based on something unsafe, potentially, that you got to discipline yourself and master yourself and direct yourself with freedom to not harm yourself or others, right? Which is full-on Republican self-governance. I know, this is tricky stuff. Okay? So Donnie was a part of the corporate takeover, collectivist, fascistic war on the individuals when it comes to, at least we can start there, and we can broaden the horizons in the picture. At least when it comes to the war on drugs, the lockdowns, the 5 boosters. And that's enough for me, because we just covered about 90% of the civilization. See how that works? 70% are vax taxed and laxed. Another 20% choose to engage in taking certain substances, which they have a right to do because everyone's got a right to put in their body what they please. Unless you believe your body is state property and owned by U.S. corporation, which it is technically because they have a fraudulent contract that you took out at birth and called yourself a member of the corporation. See how it all works? So like it works because it's supposed to. It's spiritually sound because you folks agreed, but it's not because it's fraud and you don't know the implications, but you do, but you won't accept them because I and others told you, but you choose to believe we're the crazy ones while you say Donnie's a normal, sane, co-creative, coherent man, but there's no list and there's no island and there's no nothing. It never happened. And the lockdowns were for safety and on and on and on and on. Because you're insane. Because most people calling me insane in this realm are more insane than I am. That should concern you, folks. You know, the trailer dweller on YouTube, as Barry McCockiner and others referred to, before we had our breakup and makeup session there. Yes, it's interesting. Never a dull moment. Being I am that am, surrounded by a bunch of Me Too's. Never a dull moment here. This dude's delusional. That's you. I'd bet anything on it. We should play a game here where we open this up to the public and you all have to put up a certain amount. I'd be rich by the end of the day. You all have to put up a certain amount and then you're going to lay out who you are, what you believe. I'm going to go to the facts, prove you're a moron projecting onto me, and then you lose whatever you get. I'd be rich like that. I gotta come up with my own version of Mr. Beastism here. With the slaves. Because I know there's a lot of slaves, inauthentic corporate male slaves who like work their whole life away. And they got plenty to part with. A slave in their non-money is soon parted, you know, because it's paper backed by nothing. So it's not technically currency as defined. As I understand it, it's defined federally. But who cares about any of that? Yeah, I definitely, Landry, if you're around somewhere, immediately start working on my new game, which is going to make me a million. Who wants to be a millionaire? Starring the slaves. Phone a slave segment. Yeah, we can have phone a slave segment where the slave phones another slave and tries, like, see how many slaves they can phone and get together to try to figure out how reality works. No, wait, maybe that's when I'm confusing the games, I think. Okay, here it is. We're brainstorming here, live on the air, something you don't get other places. I want a combination of who wants to be a millionaire and win Ben Stein's money, I think. Except I'm going to be the main character. Win Paul Unslaves money, and we're incorporating phone a slave segment. In case you folks need help. You know, maybe you call your granddad or something. Ask the old fool how the world works. See if he can come up with something that resembles common sense. I guess common sense is uncommon. So is it really common sense? How does that work? I just saw Man versus Food, by the way. A side note. Everyone know Adam, the guy from Food Network, Man versus Food? He's about 400 pounds nowadays, and I'm guessing Food won in the Man versus Food fight, just based on how he looks. I just saw a picture of him here in my list. And yeah, Food definitely won. So yeah, go check that out. I don't know. I forgot all about that. There's so many things that we grew up on that just don't exist anymore. Like common sense. I guess that wasn't there either when I was growing up. I wanted it to be. Still wasn't there. But Man versus Food was there. All right, let's get to some of these articles here. I don't even know where I am, what I'm saying. I'm out in the nether regions of the broadcasting ocean. I have almost no rudder, and I can't find my way back. Send help. All right, I'm going to throw the link again just in case, because I really prioritize audience engagement here. Questions, comments, concerns. You can go panel. By the way, anyone notice that panel is actually a combination of pan and L? You know, more sort of God, non-God, false worship. You got your Saturn alien. What's Pan again? Isn't that the god of nature? And then L, god of this world. So you got a Pan L. I don't know. Probably do a whole bit on that, but does anyone even really care? even matter? Just keep voting, paying the slave tax. It's all going to get better. That's my go-to. That's what I always revert back to. Okay, blast from the past. We got to pay the bills here, people. We're funding this broadcast with various local constabularies, establishments, whatever the case may be. Jones's big ass trucking, rental, and storage. If you need a truck rental or some storage, call Jones.
Why leave anything on your front lawn, under your porch, on the side of the highway where you can store all that stuff my way? Down here at Jones big ass truck rental and car storage. Now, I know y'all got stuff at your house that you don't need no more, you don't want. You know you ain't gonna use that printer. Why keep it all around your house? Bring it down here to my house. You ain't the Dukes of Hazzard. You know you ain't gonna use that ugly yellow luggage. You don't need all this crap. What you gonna do with this? This is not what it in my yard. I don't care. I'll store this motorcycle in that van for you for $10.99 a month. You got old tires. They charge you $3 for that old tire. You can rent a truck. You can store a car. They don't care. Bring it on down here. You ain't got to put that old tire for $3 for less than that. Hell, for you, for $3 they gonna charge you. I do it down here for $1.50 down here at Jones big ass truck rental and storage facility. Now, friends, you may ask yourself, how in the hell can he store this stuff for such a cheap price? This in a box, mark it for you, put it away, seal it. The fact of the matter is, I'm pretty drunk right now and store it. And this is a drunk discount sale down here at Jones big ass truck rental and car facility. You got an elephant, I got space. Send me smoke signals. You got weed, and I'll store anything you want. Go ahead and give me a call or find me on them internets at www.jonesbigass-truck.
All right, Jones big ass truck and rental storage facility. Tell him Paul sent you. You'll get an immediate discount. And if you leave your car parked out front, you may get a 4-tire discount as well. No one knows what that means. You'll find out. Donald Trump, please save me. We're going to pray to Donald Trump before we go into the breaking slave news, because it might get a little dangerous in there. You never know what you're going to get. So it's always good to idol worship and idolize your fellow man. I've learned that. The Christians and the Catholics taught me that. So we're actually going to elevate Donald Trump to the position of God, actual full-on God, and we're going to pray to him right here, right now.
Donald Trump, if you can hear us, please, Donald Trump, please save me. Please save me, Donald Trump, please. I'm asking you. Please save me. Please save me. Please get these people away from me. In dear God's name, please stop these truth. Go break.
Must have been a traffic stop or something. So I didn't know that. Didn't know that part. So yeah, your next traffic stop, if the people you voted for and paid for to run your life are doing stuff you don't like, pray to Donald Trump. He might be able to recall his agents in black uniforms. You see the irony here, folks? You see how ridiculous this is? You guys are sucking cop boot. You think policy and codes are laws. You're complying and cooperating. You're paying to use your own property. They're running your life with policy and code. And in between lick and boot, you're praying to Donnie that it stops. Donnie isn't wanting it to stop. Donnie is wanting the police to grow and get more policy and code, run more of your life. Right? That's the Republican platform. We know that. The quote unquote, the Rhino, Republican in name only platform is more police everywhere, all times, less rights for the individual. We know that. It's totally American. It's totally conservative. It's totally in. It's new. It's fresh. It's not fascism. It's modern day republicanism. Okay. We prayed to Donnie, which is essentially our God of this world. Trump, Operation Warp Speed was incredible and amazing. I played this clip last time. We're going to play it again because you folks need to hear it. Amazing.
Operation
Incredible.
Warp Speed, these mRNA vaccines that are gold standard.
Right.
Now your health secretary is pulling back all the funding for research. He's saying that the risks outweigh the benefits, which puts him at odds with
Research
the
on
entire
what?
medical community and with you. What is going on?
Research on what?
into mRNA vaccines.
Well, we're going to look at that. We're talking about it, and they're doing a very good job. And, that is a pass. With Operation Warp Speed was, whether you're Republican or Democrat, considered one of the most incredible things ever done in this country. The efficiency, the way it was done, the distribution, everything about it has been amazing. But, that was now a long time ago, and we're on to other things. But we are speaking about it. We have meetings about it tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
I'm going to leave it at that because I want to comment on this. When God moves, I try not to ignore it or overlook it. So, RJ, if you're still here, can you email me, please? There's contribution support links up top next to those links. Cash App, PayPal, whatever the case may be. Non-taxable events, by the way. Those are not for products, services, corporations. Those are gifts from extended friends and family. Next to the contribution links, you're going to see an email. Please email me, because this may sound crazy to you, but I've been looking for land for a while now. And last night, I was kind of heavily going over costs for everything. And one of the things was well drilling. And where I'm going to be, I'm probably most likely going to be on Oregon is where I'm shooting toward. That's been my intention, although I have some reservations. Pretty much every state I have some reservations, so I got to pick something. But my point is, a lot of these folks are saying it's a hefty number there on cost. If you have that experience, because again, I was going over this last night and for days now, and you just show up here today and you go, I'm a well driller. I drilled wells for 20 years. I have a particular set of skills. There's no reason for you to say that. And when you say that, I presume that you're the answer to what I put out there, right? So if that's crazy to you, then you're going to ignore me. If you have a set of skills and I could work with you for some level of compensation, that would be good. I would potentially be interested in that, even if it's just you finding the water and not drilling it. Because I got a feeling that in any organization or any skill or specialization, it's like mechanics, it's like lawyers, right? There's some trade secrets, and they're probably not going to be as forthcoming as they could be. As a matter of fact, they're probably going to overlook those trade secrets in order to profit more by lying by omission, right? It's not direct lying. You're just leaving stuff out, because these prices vary greatly. And again, I just kind of know, I don't want to say human nature, but the nature of people involved in certain cultures, because it's not necessarily human nature. Human nature is programmable. But certain people in certain cultures, they have this idea that, hey, if we can, we should. So if we can get 50 or 60 grand from Paulie Boy or whoever else, drilling a well 1,000 feet when we could have done it 300, well, then we're going to do that. Why wouldn't we? It's advantageous for us to drill, baby, drill. So I guess there's tests and challenges and pros and cons with everything. If I meet someone on here, I have to trust they're going to do what they say they're going to do and not fuck me over. But I guess either way, that's kind of the case, right? So either way, you're taking a gamble. East Coast here. Yeah, that may not work out. I'm from the East Coast originally. I'm going to be on Oregon. So I don't know, man. Email me if it's something you think can work out. If you can actually get to Oregon and drill a well for a decent number, if that's even a thing, if that's possible. If not, I'm an idiot and I don't know how this shit works. And I got to figure something else out. Maybe you know somebody. Usually if you're in a business for 20 years, you know somebody that knows somebody who isn't going to completely fuck me. So yeah, man, if you think that this is something you want to be a part of or you're called to be a part of in some way, then do that. If not, then we'll just move forward. I'm sure we'll figure it out either way. Protecting pedos is what MAGA has done. You're not lying. But MAGA would tell you Donnie's playing some elaborate game of 5D chess and that he's actually lying, but he's lying for a good reason because he's actually going to go deeper with this and catch more people. The only way to do that is by lying to everyone. I guess it remains to be seen. It doesn't work that way, Paul. You can see when they hit water, it's unmistakable. Okay. All right. I'll accept that. MAGA, the Great Wizard of Oz, right? Pay no attention to the fascist behind the curtain. They're all pedos. Noah Michael writes. Necessarily deny that. I'm not going to say all, but I think there's a lot more of this behavior and certain activities going on than a lot of folks would like to accept or admit to. And then there's, I guess, some implications there that folks don't want to look into or accept. All right, let's move on here. We got Brian O'Shea, a fan favorite from this non-munity. I should stop doing that bit non-bit, calling this place a non-munity. That's everywhere else. There actually is a community here of folks who are aligned in purpose, meaning, principles, values, and even action and activism on the ground. So if there is such thing as a community online, this is probably one of the few. Brian O'Shea had the nerve to be camping somewhere and not have a license, and some agents of a corporation rolled up and tried to tell him what he was going to do and how he was going to live for freedom and safety. And we're going to see how that goes, because I believe there's a point in here where Brian O'Shea asked the cop, how is this a crime? And he admits a crime is supposed to be whether there's loss, injury, harm, or a victim. And then he goes to saying something along the lines of, well, the victim in this case is society. That's fraud. If you can't bring a man or a woman forth claiming Brian O'Shea has caused them loss, injury, or harm, owes a debt, or is victimizing them in some way, you're lying, you're frauding. You're using a non-physical, non-living entity to make a non-claim. Okay? That needs to stop. This is part of the reason why democracy or representative government is a fraud and is illegitimate, because they'll just say some non-living entity somewhere that we can't point to or get any testimony from is communicating to us via transpondence that you're victimizing it and something's got to be done. This is insanity. And it goes on every land from the beginning of time if we let it and if we don't call it out. All right, let's get to it.
So this goes down.
Evil Brian O'Shea camping, attempting to exist outside the bounds of conventional legal society.
Will they get the ID? Will I go to jail? Hey, what's up, brother? Yeah. You guys got your gloves on? Oh, okay. How's it going? Pretty chill. Okay. Just doing a live stream. What's your name and badge number?
Green 21050. 23050.
Green 2109, Kelper
23050.
23050. 21059.
Yep.
All right, gotcha.
See, GG.
Right. Yeah, I'm taking it down right now.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
Do you have an idea on it?
Unfortunately, I don't.
Okay. What's your first name?
I'm not going to give information.
Well, you have to.
Well, I understand you guys
Have to.
got, like, what's, you're going to say you're going to charge me what, obstruction or something into your investigation?
Camping.
Right,
Can't camp in this part.
right. But who's the injured party on the other side that's going to come to court eventually? Because doesn't it have to be an injured party on the other side that has been caused loss, injury, or harm? So you could just do things, you could put people in jail when they've never caused loss or injury or harm, and that seems all right to you?
He could give you a ticket for camping. We wouldn't take you to jail for this.
Right, but if I don't give my ID, then how are you going to give a ticket? If I don't identify myself, how are you going to give me a ticket?
Because then we could do the whole shebang where we put you in handcuffs. Get you
Right, but I mean, you're going to put someone in handcuffs when they've never caused loss, injury, harm, and that's acceptable to you?
I mean, it's our job.
Okay, you too?
Yeah. So right now we're contacting you with probable cause, right? Obviously for camping. I mean, I think we're beyond reasonable doubt at this point, honestly. And so with that, you need to identify yourself. And if you're refusing to identify yourself, then you're committing another crime. And I understand you're trying to understand who's the victim in all this. Society is technically the victim, right?
You're going to bring society to court? Because there has to be
That's how they look at it. Like in a
How they
crime
look
like
at
this, society is the victim.
Right. That's how they look at it. Who's they? I contend it's an it, a spirit that inhabits these people and creates these systems. So they, the Talmudic folks, look at it that way. That society is its own entity, can't speak for itself, can't show up at court. So we're going to need a bunch of agents acting on behalf of the society entity. And it's going to decide whether or not you're victimizing it or not, even though it can never testify or make an actual claim. This is fraud, and this is exactly why these systems don't work. Mitchell, come up if you got some commentary. Mitchell pushing back, it seems, saying it's at a public park. What does that mean? Can you, because I'm going to come at this from, I'm a child. I don't understand any of this. This makes no sense to me. Can you make it make sense to me? You know, at what parts exactly of the world can we live on and not be harassed or asked to pay to exist? Where's that at? Because we can't go to the forest anymore without them patrolling the middle of nowhere and telling people they got to move along every 10 days. Is there any place on Earth Inc. as a corporation where someone can exist and be left alone and not be harassed or handed a bill or carted off somewhere to be housed like a piece of property? I'm just asking. Is that a thing? Should that be a thing? Should it never be a thing? Especially when, if we're going to do courting to establish this, you can't. Because who's the victim? Society. Okay, can I face my accuser? No, you can't because they don't exist. Violation of proper process and procedure? Every single time.
That's what you were asking.
Right. No, I'm saying, but who's the person that's going to show up in court? Because like,
so the state is going to be the one pursuing the case, or the city. If we did city charges, the city be pursuing.
but it has to be a person.
It doesn't have.
But you, can I have your name and badge number, please, sir?
20004.
What?
He's just making sure nobody else is in there.
I don't have to walk up on him?
Right.
He's walking up on my stuff.
Yeah, and you're legally camping in the park.
Yeah, I'm camping, but who is the injured party?
Here's where we're at. Okay, you have your identification on you.
Nope.
Are you going to give us your name?
No.
Okay, turn it off.
Just put your hand, get your phone. I'm gonna put it right here. Is it recording and stuff?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so we'll just leave it.
Like
Which
this,
is it,
everything.
forward facing, or do you want it rear facing? What do
You
you
could
want?
leave it
Leave it up like this.
like that.
Okay, sounds good.
We get the whole thing, man. We get the business silly, but
Okay, so again, we just make up words. Brian O'Shea's existing in the park. We're going to call it camping. I don't know how you differentiate camping from any other existing, but they do. And he's victimizing society, which can't talk. And we're now going to cause him loss, injury, or harm because he won't perform for us, even though he's supposedly victimizing a non-living beingness. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Mitchell's saying down there, yes, you can exist on private property, but it's not private because all of private property at this point is titled and considers certain status where you have to pay tribute to use it. So there's literally no place on the earth where you can exist without the corporation handing you a bill to take its products or services under the guise of there's a non-living entity over there somewhere who says you're victimizing it if you don't comply. Fascism, statism, tyranny, the antithesis of freedom. I just explained to you that technically private property doesn't exist to this legal society and these legal beagles. If you look at the definitions and how it all comes together. Oh, well, what's the difference, right?
No, it's not silly right now, dude. You guys are
okay. You got anything on you?
You guys think that this is like acceptable behavior?
So according to the park rangers, right? Misuse of the park.
What?
It's a park.
It's crazy to me that you think this is acceptable behavior.
Right.
So
it's crazy. What you putting me in
so, sir, what you're going to end up being charged with today is from the park rangers, misuse of the park because it's a park run by the city and county of Denver. Their job is to patrol it. They have jurisdiction here. Since you're refusing to ID yourself, it sounds like he's been trying to get your ID for the last couple of weeks. You've been doing this. Okay. So it looks like you're going to be cited for that as well today, okay? And without giving us your information, possibly interference, okay? So you guys have more photos. All right. Yeah, we'll get it. Yeah.
Move forward here a little bit. Looks like they walked them away.
No, you're good. where you need all these identity. But any other county though, or any other department, most of them would have taken him to jail on it because they would have had enough for it. But for some reason, we gotta have.
So, just gonna move over, just kind of padding them.
Just for safety, I'm gonna open it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Is just open it.
Yeah, yeah. We're okay. So where so Mitchell advocating for private property, that would be Brian's bag right there. But for safety and who knows what, we're going to open it now and we're going to do unlawful search because you know what kind of times we live in. And hey, we're out in the public, and that means that you and your property is no longer private. Maybe the state agents go through your private property now because we're out in the public and you don't have any rights out in the public. To your person, the security of your person or your papers or effects, right? So, you know, maybe we just, for safety, we're going to look through all your stuff, see what else we can come up with that we can label as contraband, generate some more revenue off you, cause some more loss, injury, and harm to keep everyone safe. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna peek from the outside. So I'm not.
Tea bottles and food.
I mean, without going through, anything like.
I'm not seeing it. There's some padding.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking.
There's the phone.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Put it back up.
Yeah.
Nothing else we can criminalize him with?
I'm gonna move this over.
You got it. Yeah, that's just food on the back.
Doing our job. Doing our job.
Okay, so you just you got it. Okay, and you guys kept moving along. Alrighty.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it.
Your name and badge number again?
Cambria 20004.
All right. Gotta have my morning coffee too. Can't function without my morning coffee. I'm an NPC. Any place with grass and trees is now called a park. And it's just that simple. We're gonna call everything with grass and trees park or forest, and government corporation owns all that, and you can't exist there without us calling it something and causing loss, injury, and harm to keep everyone safe. Yep, that's what we do. Folks love it. Can't get enough of it. You know, because in a real world, an actual grown man or woman would have to come over and engage with the person. Say, hey, we live around here. It's kind of unsightly. Do you think you could take it down the road or go off in the middle of the forest somewhere where the corporation still owns everything? And it's going to tell you can't go there. You know, we don't want any responsibility and accountability. We want the apparatus of the state to interact with all other men and women, tell them what to do. You know, it's very neighborly, very Christian ethos, values, you know, very Christian people, very, very, very Catholic, holy people. All right, Dave's going to come on. He's got like 4 dismissals in the past 2 years, traveling without license, registration, insurance, and plates. We're going to go over that at some point, but we never win. There's never dismissals. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. Shut up and go away, Paulie boy, for safety. All right, let's continue on. We're going to go quickly here. 8 states banning chemtrails, even though chemtrails don't exist. It appears the issue of chemtrails and geoengineering is finally starting to go mainstream. This is largely due to the fact that Tennessee has recently signed a bill into law which effectively bans weather modification activities, and there are 7 other states with similar bills in the works. Tennessee, Illinois, New Hampshire, South Dakota, Kentucky. We're all banning stuff that doesn't exist. Rhode Island. Minnesota. What else? It looks like that's it. So this isn't the most timely article in the sense of concurrent. It's from the past, but that's good news. If moving forward here, you see less and less contrails because they like to gaslight everybody on all these websites. They go, here's a radar map for all the contrails across the nation. They think if they create a radar map and call it contrails and show it to you all, that you won't ask if it's something else. Okay, but 8 states at least at this point. We'll have to do an updated story on this at some point. As of 6 months ago, I believe, 8 states banning what doesn't exist for safety. So that's good, even though it doesn't exist. Maybe we can clean up the skies for all those contrails, don't you know, that none of us ever remember seeing when we grew up. It's weird how those contrails turn into huge storms the next 2 or 3 days after you see them as well. It's really interesting. Tears from a healthcare worker, one of our frontline responders, one of the most angelic things you could be, first responder. It's almost like on the level of Pope when it comes to infallibility. Well, at least sometimes. Tears of healthcare worker brought he, quote unquote, he's brought to tears by the damage being done by vaccines every day to our kids. Aluminum every time, heavy metals every time. Let's hear what he has to say. Is
I don't think I can keep doing testing on these vaccine injured kids, man. These parents bring these kids in that are rough and wanting blood work, you know, and you got to pin these kids down, and like I just can't do it. We've started doing the illegal scan, right? So they can do a tissue scan. It's non-invasive. That's nice. You still get all your metals and minerals and stuff, but like aluminum every time, heavy metals every time. My heart broke today. I love my kids very much. I'm very grateful for that. And I'm grateful to be able to help some people that are just in a spot, but it was a tough day. Hug your kids.
All right. We trust the first responders until we don't, I guess. Until they don't toe the official mainstream narrative. I don't know why that guy would do that. Very selfish, this guy. Coming on here and trying to tug at our heartstrings with children when we know these things are safe and effective. Yeah, I don't appreciate that. I don't like that. Hurricane Erin tracker. Storm strengthens to Category 5. Erin has become the first hurricane of the Atlantic season. Several areas are already on alert. 160-mile-an-hour winds. And some are saying that the wildfires and the storms and the waves and all the rest of it are not supernatural. They think it's man-made. All right? Conspiracy theorists are at it again. Let's go to the radar systems, showing all the cell phone towers, and watch and listen to this gentleman as he points out what seems to be a pattern here. Every time there's a certain high-level storms and fires, there seems to be some surrounding events happening.
Good morning, freedom fighters. It's been a while. It is 5:51 a.m. Alaska time. Very unusual radar signatures coming out of Missouri, out of all over, creating a storm in Missouri, as you can see right this minute. I just kind of wanted to go over it. Look how many of these so-called next-rad radar systems they are. They're about 75 miles apart, evenly spaced. There's dozens of them in this small, tight area of United States. This is Missouri, Michigan, Illinois. Some very powerful radar signals, though. That's not natural. They can create rain right there. Look at the cell phone towers pinging as well. Go down here where I can control that. It intensifies. Right there is your cell phone.
All right, I'm going to leave it there. So, yeah, not fear-mongering, but observing and reporting on the tower situation, what's been called the NexRad, is one of the things they're calling it, like Bear Drew points out there, seems to be very active during these storms, some might say. So make of that what you will. It's probably not anything to look at or listen to unless the TV tells you it is. So, yeah, maybe I guess don't look at that. Don't waste any time, energy, attention on that, unless the TV tells you to in the future, of course, at some point. Virginia Beach aims to remove vulgar t-shirt, booty shorts displays from storefronts because slaves have to be governed. If the corporation could, it would profiteer and generate revenue off sexuality and then use a whole bunch of statutes, policies, and codes to govern you. And it's pretty much where we're at. I contend one of the reasons we're seeing such a blowback with pornography and sexuality and OnlyFans and all this other stuff is this is the prerequisite before revolutionary times. See, when they write up codes to criminalize everyone and everything, and there's a code for everyone and everything, and pretty much every other thing you do as a free being has become illegal, the last thing left usually is sexual revolution. All things start to move toward that modality as an outlet, right? As a purge valve for the tyranny, for the fascism. So we're seeing that more and more. The sexuality release valve is being tapped, so to speak, because folks are subconsciously aware that they are in a matrix and they're being run and ruled over, and that's the only thing they have left to express their free humanity is sexuality, essentially. So they're folks are just like naturally, subconsciously going over and above and beyond to experience that and express that because they've deemed subconsciously it to be one of the few, if not the only things the government corporation can't control yet. And again, I'm postulating that's potentially a theory of the subpsychology and the sociological movements. Who knows, right? I guess remains to be seen. Virginia Beach Council, blah, 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 more corporate bodies ruling over the people. The slaves are now showing their bodies more than ever. They're becoming more sexual than ever as a way to rebel and revolt against their tyrannical enslavers who are there to keep them safe. And of course, that's making us even more unsafe and it's more dangerous. And something's got to be done. So we'll get on that immediately. Our corporate agents who are supposed to serve will get on controlling the populace immediately and telling them what they can and can't do and how they can and can't express. At least part of the time. Other places, as we know, do as I say, not as I do. One of the other great things about corporate governance, that do as I say, not as I do thing. Toxic industrial Western Hemisphere air for the first time. The atmosphere above North America today contained the same industrial poisons previously believed to be restricted to factories and dump sites. Scientists at the University of Colorado Boulder have verified the first airborne detection of medium-chain chlorinated paraffins in the Western Hemisphere, an ominous milestone for environmental surveillance and chemical regulation. So big surprise, they're poisoning the environment, and then problem, reaction, solution. We get something must be done. We poison the environment. So we're going to come in with statute, policy, and code, criminalize everything you do, and push this green movement technology. Of course we are. Of course we are. And we're going to use both sides of the political sphere to do it, to play everyone off each other against the middle, as always. So that's how it works. We got this RFK guy too. I got to hit this because it's just beyond laughable. Okay, we're moving quickly here. We got the paraffin situation. RFK Jr. Watch this pivot. You're going to like this. There are over 5,000 peer-reviewed studies that chronicle the injuries from COVID vaccines, according to RFK Jr. Dr. Jerome Adams said that people will die with the decision of not using mRNA vaccines for viruses like COVID and the flu. There's been a lot of scientists, a lot of doctors who have disagreed. So where's the disconnect with science? So I'm not going to go through the whole article, but essentially RFK Jr. has decided to come out all of a sudden and say there's over 5,000 peer-reviewed studies that chronicle injuries from COVID vaccine. The only problem is he's apparently got a vaccine of his own that's going to replace these other vaccines that are bad. So we got the Hillary good Taliban, bad Taliban thing going. Good Taliban, bad Taliban. We don't know the difference. We can't tell. So we got RFK Jr. doing the same kind of rap, vaccine COVID bad, but RFK Jr. pulls $500 million in vaccine funding, says universal vaccine in development. U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy says he's pulling $500 million in funding for vaccine development targeting the flu, COVID-19, and other infections. Kennedy also says a universal vaccine is in development that will mimic natural immunity and treat all viruses. See the bait and switch, see how it works? So we went from, you guys are ungodly because you got a COVID vaccine and it's bad and wrong and it's harming people. So we got to get rid of that in order to replace it with a universal vaccine that treats everyone and everything. And if you buy into this, I got a bridge to sell you, as they say. On Kansas. Ocean View. Right? It's interesting how they do this, and few seem to pick up on what's happening. We're back to 3-card Monty, right? We're back to the shell game. Just follow the ball. The ball's under there. This guy to the left just won. He found the ball. Why can't you find the ball? Follow the ball, people. China fights mosquito-borne chikungunya virus with drones, fines and nets and fines. What does that even mean? FINES. Fines and nets as thousands fall ill. So they're also deploying cannibal mosquitoes to fight the chikungunya. And as we remember back 5 or so years, Billy Gates was at the conferences releasing robotic mosquitoes to keep everyone safe, of course, as he laughed and giggled and said, it's going to spread diseases. And then said, just kidding. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Why would I do that? I love you. Love you, people. So let's go to that. China fights mosquito-borne chikungunya virus with drones. Chinese authorities using nets, spraying insecticide, more chemicals in the air. Yeah, got to keep everyone safe. Even deploying drones to fight the mosquito-borne chikungunya virus, which has infected thousands of people. We've heard this story before, huh? Authorities have reported more than 7,000 cases of the virus as of Wednesday, mostly in the southern Chinese manufacturing hub of Foshan, some 170 kilometers from Hong Kong. Number of new cases appears to be dropping slowly, according to authorities. So any time now, like Billy once said on his channel, you guys think we're all going back to normal. That there's going to be way more biological events and pandemics coming up in the future that are going to have to lock everything down and take some treatments for, if we can get it done, right? If they can get it done. It's always in flux. It's always a potential test and challenge. It always potentially falls flat if they can't get it done. Never know. Chikungunya virus sounds scary. California cuts off water to ranchers without warning as globalist war on farmers hits U.S. soil. Democrat leaders, let's blame the Democrats here. It's just that easy. It's not all of them. It's just the Democrats. Democrat leaders in California have once again drawn a battle line, not against crime, not against homelessness, but against ranchers and farmers. Right. Because government's biggest enemy is its own citizens, it would seem. People who put food on our tables. With no warning, state authorities have cut off irrigation water to ranchers in rural Northern California, effectively shutting down cattle operations overnight and putting family-run farms out of business. And I'm going to go ahead and guess it's for safety, some way, somehow. We're not going to be able to get any irrigation water, blah, 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 on and on. More reason to get out in the middle of nowhere, get your land, get off the grid, get a well, get your own power sources, and stop tying yourself to the state and the corporation. Because it seems that while they're trying to keep you safe, they do a lot of things oftentimes to interfere with your livelihood, pursuit of happiness, and property. It's the weirdest thing ever, man. I don't know. Maybe some folks out here are just paranoid, but certainly seems like that. A couple more, and I'm going to get the hell out of here. Hundreds protest for release of COVID skeptic lawyer arrested in sovereign citizen probe. At least 500 demonstrators gathered outside the penitentiaire in Richting on Sunday afternoon, calling for the release of former lawyer Arno van Kessel, who was arrested in June on suspicion of involvement in a criminal network alongside 7 other suspects, including notorious crime figure from Hilton. All right, so more labeling of folks who are standing for rights and freedom as sovereign citizens. Nothing to see here. Totally not propaganda. No permits. Newly built home on palatial estate ordered to be demolished. Yep, by the same corporation calling itself government. And of course, I'm guessing, it's usually the case, the answer is going to be for safety. Let's go to that.
The owners of this palatial West Vancouver home, recently assessed at more than $6.7 million, have been ordered to demolish a 1,500 square foot building resembling a small residence constructed without permits at the back of their property.
I can't recall ever seeing a case like this. You can't construct a home without building permits.
The owners of the unpermitted backyard structure near a steep slope next to Brothers Creek did not appear at the meeting before council's unanimous vote last month.
I'm really quite surprised. This is a significant issue.
They again built it with 0 permits, 0 inspections, and it's unacceptable safety risk.
Staff.
Safety. No, I'm so good at this. I'd be a politician. I'd be really good at it. I know all the bullshit by now. 818. We got a call coming in. I'm transferring over to that. 818. Are you there?
Yes, Mr. Flavian.
How are you, Zohar? It's good to hear from you.
Please, I have a question, please.
Sure.
How you said something about if you have property, how am I going to get to the ocean and bring a whale to my home?
Zohar, you got confused, man. I was making a joke, right? There's no actual oceans or bridges on Kansas. I was making a joke, pointing out how these people are so easily fooled and deceived.
Mr. Flavian, you did it again. Thank you very much.
That's it?
That's it, Mr. Flavian.
Okay, that was easy.
Confused about the whale.
Yeah, no. It's easy to get confused here and pretty much everywhere else. I get that.
Please. Okay, I call back. Thank you.
Thank you, Zohar. We're clearing some stuff up for Zohar here. Zohar, a good citizen, very easily confused, very easily manipulated, very suggestible. Okay, so it's a good thing that I'm here so that I can remind him of that and point out where his masters are gaming and pimping on him potentially. So this is good. This is big. We're amazing here. We're doing amazing things. We love these people, even though they're completely slaved out and clueless. We still love these people, and we're going to do great things, big things, huge things in the future here. Just keep voting and paying the tax, folks. That's all you need to know for now. All right, trust the plan. We got this. What else do I have here? What else do I have? Small BC town became center of dispute between China and Taiwan. How ironic. People leaving their failed nation states to argue over who's better somewhere else, where there's supposedly less tyranny. Although Canada starting to corner the market, been known as China for a while now by a lot of the folks living there. Just looking over some stuff here, deciding what I want to do. What do you want to do? Anybody seen that guy? That fucking chump? This guy, his whole reality and online is just being Italian. He just walks around all day going, "What do you want to do, you sister?" Yeah, I don't even know why I brought that up. Where we're at now is my point. That's where comedy is at now. All right, let me go over my chatters here. Let's get some chat engagement if there's anything worthy of interacting with. If not, I think I may shut down before the 3rd hour mark today. Feeling rather complete in my incompletion. My God, no permit. I don't care if it's built better than what is permitted. The daddy wasn't paid. Right. We all know you're not allowed to Again, Mitch said private property exists. I said technically, legally, if they have their way, it doesn't. That last story proved it because they flew drones over that guy's house and found out he built something on his property and didn't ask permission or pay for an ability to do it. Almost as if that private property was the rest of the state of, almost as if that private property was subject to public policy, it would seem. Weird stuff. Some weird, wild stuff. All right, let's go courting and then I'm out of here. Most sinister and abominable thing you will ever hear. Wow, that's kind of... Oh, yeah, that's the rabbi saying you can have sex with a 3-year-old. Should we go there right now? We want to go there right now? I mean, Donnie is a big supporter of State of Israel. These various sects of religions that apparently... I don't know much about this, so if I'm wrong, you got to get me right, but it seems some of these Orthodox folks believe, they seem to be saying and repeating that you can have sex with a 3-year-old, according to their holy book. Is somehow okay. Am I off on this? Am I wrong on this? Did I not get the whole story? Please keep me honest. I guess we're not supposed to talk about that. That probably would be anti-Semitic, I'm guessing. Okay, we'll cover that tomorrow or whenever I come back. Netanyahu's crying about a global campaign of lies. He's tantruming. He wants to know why he can't completely take over Palestine. Illegals forcibly evict LA millionaires. We got to do something about these illegals. We're going to need some troops on the streets, I think, soon. Wait, we already ordered that. That's good. Trump's National Guard takeover will go further than D.C. Let's hear that.
Then here you see President Trump walking up to the podium. Let's
Big
listen.
Daddy. Yeah, let's all giggle.
I've been up here a lot. I've never seen a crowd like this. I think we need a ballroom, and that's happening. It's going to be a beautiful ballroom. This is really a lot of people, most I've ever seen in this room. And we're here for a very serious purpose, very serious purpose. Something's out of control, but we're going to put it in control very quickly like we did on the southern border. I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States.
Who is Donnie and the corporation taking the property back from? You guessed it, the people they're supposed to serve. There they go, declaring war on those people they're supposed to serve again.
States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control. And you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening. And they've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly. And you people are victims of it, too. You know, you're reporters, and I understand a lot of you tend to be on the liberal side, but you don't want to get mugged and raped and shot and killed. And you all know people and friends of yours that happened. And so you can be anything you want, but you want to have safety in the streets. You want to be able to leave your apartment or your house where you live.
There's the word.
And
Keyword.
Feel safe and go into a store to buy a newspaper or buy something. And you don't have that now. The murder rate in Washington today is higher than that of Bogota, Colombia, Mexico City, some of the places that you hear about as being the worst places on earth, much higher.
Do you think maybe the reason for that is because it's complete fascism and collectivism and you've interfered with the rights and property of the individual to have guns to defend themselves? Hello. Oops. Are the Republicards going to support giving everyone in the city a gun so they can defend themselves from the criminal scum? No. We're going to criminalize all the individuals who are hardworking, good people and not allow them to defend themselves so we can centralize the authority figures and have troops on the ground and federalize the police. Yeah, that's the answer. More corporate collectivism and fascism. Not more rights and abilities to the individuals and the people to protect themselves and their property. Less of that and more centralized authoritarianism and military industrial complex ism. Right? That's the answer. It's got to be the answer, guys. Guys, come here every day.
This is much higher. The number of car thefts has doubled over the past 5 years, and the number of carjackings has more than tripled. Murders in 2023 reached the highest rate probably ever. They say 25 years, but they don't know what that means because it just goes back 25 years. Can't be worse. Our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving
By
mobs
design.
of wild youth,
By design.
drugged out
By
maniacs and homeless
design.
people. And
By
we're not going to let it
design.
happen anymore. We're not going to
Not
take
gonna
it.
let it. We're going to do everything we can to make sure it happens, and then once it happens, we're going to point to it, say how bad it is, and make sure it never happens again by taking more property and rights and abilities. Yep. Problem, reaction, solution, all by design. There it is. One moment you get to see how the state of and collectivism works, and Donnie's at the helm. What? Where's the Republicans? Someone go get them. I want to hear from them. I love their bullshit excuses. Please. So we love these people. Someone go get them. Why is Donnie, the ultimate maverick, non-politician, non-fascist, Republicard, not advocating for everyone to have the right to bear arms to defend themselves and their property? Why? We know why. Because he's a Democrat from Manhattan. He's a collectivist. He's a leftist. He's duping all of you. And you've all bought into it. You'll keep buying into it.
Yeah, just like we did on our southern border. Nobody comes through our southern border anymore. 3 months in a row, we had
No one's
zero.
there. No one's coming.
Right, but
So we ended it
people that
all.
do the work. It's a very liberal group of people, actually, and they actually said zero for the last 3 months. Nobody thought a thing like that was possible. And when you take a look at numbers, I just saw some charts. These are different cities throughout the world. Red is okay. The red is a place called Washington, D.C. Look at these. Baghdad we doubled up on Baghdad. Panama City, Brasilia, San Jose, Costa Rica, Bogota, Colombia, heavy drugs. Mexico City, I mentioned, Lima, Peru.
All the other places that have constitutions that say we have rights to bear arms, that the government corporations have come in and interfered with those rights and pieces of property have created. Yeah, agreed. All those places have constitutions. Mexico's got a constitution. It reads in there you got a right to have a gun. Yet the weirdest thing happened. People don't have rights to have their guns anymore. So cartels are running wild. Crime is running wild. Obvious to some of us why that's happened. You won't bring the actual solution. Right? They don't want an empowered, inspired, co-creative, free populace with rights to defend themselves and their property. That's the opposite of what they want. They want a codependent, weak, disempowered populace who begs the corporation to keep them safe. Working perfectly. Donnie, the spokesman.
Double and triple what they are. So do you want to live in places like that? I don't think so. And I think the people in this room, if you wrote correctly, you'd see, look at the kind of numbers we have. DC, 41 per 100,000, number one that we can find anywhere in the world. Other cities are pretty bad, but they're not as bad as that. That where you want to live? The reporters of the world? Juvenile offenders and crimes against persons, as they say. It's getting worse. Not getting better, it's getting worse. And we had a recent indication. There was a story about a man who was just left. He quit because he was asked to do phony numbers on crime. And we're going to look into that. I think Pam is going to be looking into that. But he was asked by the city, I guess, that we don't want to show the real numbers. Let me do numbers so it looks like it's going down. Not going down. And under Biden, it was a disaster. And nobody did anything about it. We're going to do things about it like you wouldn't believe. It's time for dramatic action. We're going to do the same thing over here. It's going to be a very safe city very soon. We're not looking to take years, because a lot of people die in years. And we've got incredible people in this country, except we have to allow them to do their job. And that...
And there it is. And you folks didn't catch it, many of you. That line right there is the entree, the door open to unleashing policy enforcement to really push statute policy and code on everyone after you've disempowered everyone in the city, right? We got some great policy enforcement fascism here lined up, but we really got to take the protections off of these, people, these individuals. We got to start taking the protections off the individual and really letting policy enforcement do their fucking job here. Slave everybody out. Yep. That's what we need. That's going to make us more successful and prosperous than ever. Fill in those private prisons with citizens who broke the code. Yep. Because that's America. Don't you know? You know where you're at.
We will deliver like
You know what time it is.
nobody's ever delivered before.
Oh, yeah.
I actually think it's easy. If you're competent, it's easy. If
Oh,
you're
yeah.
incompetent, it's impossible.
Right.
But I'm very competent. Last week, my administration surged 500 federal agents into the district, including from the FBI, ATF, DEA, Park Police, the U.S. Marshal Service, the Secret Service, and the Department of Homeland Security. A lot of nations, they don't have anything like that. They got some police, and they're rough police. They don't have DEA, ATF, FBI, Park Police, the U.S. Marshal Service, Secret Service, Department of Homeland Security.
Trump admitting that he now wants police to be like they are third world, fascistic, totalitarian, collectivist nations. Thank you. My chief of staff came to me. They said, "Sir, we're leading in disempowerment, lack of inspiration." I said, "Well, we have to bring in more policy and code. We have to lock these people up. It's the only thing to do. It's what we got to do. We got to get rough on these people. Got to get the police. Got to train the police to be rougher on these people. It's the only way we're going to have a successful nation." But we love these people.
Security.
They're begging for
police.
slavery, these people.
But they're rough police, and they do their job. They don't have crime.
Just be rough. That's
They don't
it.
have crime either.
That's all it takes to be successful and prosperous and competent. Just let the police do whatever they want. Be rough on the individuals. Just let Oh, I love this. I love my job. I love my job. Come on, guys. All of a sudden, they took me out of the algorithm and all the Trump tards left just when we were starting to have fun. We got at least 1 or 2 conversions today. Barry was one of them. Couldn't put up an argument to even save face. And I respected him because he stood on it. He said, "Listen, you're right. I agree with you. You're not wrong. I wanted you to be wrong, but you're not wrong." Okay? So we got past that. All of a sudden, all the Trump tards left the building. Wasn't fun. They didn't want to play anymore with Paulie Boy. They don't want to play anymore when I play these clips of Donnie saying we have to get like third world collectivist nations. We already are because we outlawed guns for everyone. Only the cops and military has guns. But now we got to really take the protections off the individual and let the cops just kind of ride around with ski masks and gun butt people, just kidnap people, take them off the streets, no paperwork even. You don't even know where everyone's going. Just put everyone in complete abject fear with your tyranny to get them to be orderly, right? That's America. It's America all day, every day, man. What's the problem?
They made
You're such a fucking leftist hippie.
And
You're
that's
such a
what,
hippie commie. Such a
what
bleeding
starts to
heart
happen.
loser.
Again, cashless bail. Watch what we do with that. Today, we're formally declaring a public safety emergency. This is an emergency. This is a tragic emergency. And it's embarrassing for me to be up here. I'm going to see Putin. I'm going to Russia on Friday. I don't like being up here talking about how unsafe and how dirty and disgusting this once beautiful capital was, with graffiti all over the walls. It's another part of it, by the way, because we're talking about safety, but we're also talking about beautification. We have the most beautiful, potentially capital in the world. We always had. but people come from Iowa, they come from Indiana, they come and then they get mugged. Not going to happen. Keep coming, because by the time you get your trip set, it's going to be safe again, and it's going to be clean very quickly.
It's going to be safe
We're
again.
going to replace the media.
We're going to put so many troops on the fucking street, you're not going to be able to move around without bumping into them. Or we could just have the people who come from Indiana, Kentucky, and Iowa just bring their fucking guns with them that aren't criminalized at the quote-unquote nation's capital. The irony of this. The people from Kentucky and Idaho and Iowa can't bring their lawful property, their guns, to defend themselves to America's nation's capital. Do I need to repeat that? I don't think I do. Not even for the slowest among you. Beyond ironically ridiculous.
That are falling down all over the roads. We're going to replace the potholes. We're going to put a nice new coat of asphalt over the top. No, we don't have to rip the road out and spend 7 years building a new road because they cut everything. Because some designers said, well, we need a 1/4 inch more turn for safety reasons. No, we're going to do it right. We're going to get it done quickly. So today we're declaring public safety emergency in the District of Columbia. And Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's fantastic.
Oh, she's fucking great.
Of the Metropolitan Police Department as of this moment.
Same bro who said the Epstein list is on my desk. Oops, it doesn't exist.
Congress and to the mayor, our new DEA administrator, who's one of the.
All right, I think I'm almost done here. Pam Bondi's essentially our generation's Britney Spears. You know, you may catch her barefoot walking out of a bathroom, chain smoking cigarettes with no filter, singing songs like "Oops, I Did It Again," "I Played With Your Heart, America," got lost in the Luciferian game. You know, Pam Bondi, the one who said, the Epstein list is on my desk, you're going to get it any minute, to it doesn't exist. I don't know why these damn Democrats made this shit up. You know, her. She's our Britney Spears for this generation. We no longer have pop culture heroes to be gamed and pimped by. We've made progress. All of our heroes and idols now are all politicians. But we don't know who they are and what they actually do other than bullshit us constantly. You know, it's a new generation of idol and hero to worship. You know, at least Britney had some fucking talents and abilities.
The top in the country. He better be, Terry. If you're not, I'm going to get rid of you so fast. Terry Cole. Terry, thanks. Very good. We just got him. Most highly recommended person. And you'll be designated as the interim federal commissioner of the Metropolitan Police Department. Okay? And you run them tough. They're good. You have a lot of good people. And you have people that shouldn't be there. You also have people that shouldn't be there. They got in there because of woke. But you have a lot of great police. And those people are the ones that want to help you.
Pamela, it was more than an hour. He started this news conference, and it's been going on, answering a bunch of questions.
Yeah, and this is significant because what he announced today is a federal takeover of DC police and deploying the National Guard. I mean, this is, as far as I know, unprecedented to hear it.
National Guard and potentially other U.S. military troops down the road.
Exactly. And he made it clear that this could just be the beginning, that it might not just be.
All right, I'm done. I'm so sick of you people on all sides. You're pathetic and embarrassing who support any of this crap. I'll say it for the third time, and then I think I'm getting out of here. This is every single one of these issues is obvious what the result should be and what the answer is, and we never do that, no matter who's in. It's the weirdest thing ever. You know? So instead of Donnie pulling the statute, policy, and code that interferes with property and rights and restores the natural rights of the quote-unquote American citizen, in quotes, I'm using that term colloquially. No, we're not going to restore the natural God-given rights. We're gonna bring in more centralized governance and authoritarianism in the form of centralized militaries to take over the localized police and run them. It's literally anti-American as you can get. Literally the opposite of what our founders said to do. Okay? It's not a coincidence, not an accident. Donnie and Joey and the left-wingers and right-wingers are anti-Christ. They are anti-human. They are anti-truth and anti-life. They are anti-natural rights. They're anti-God. They want to be God. And they're going to use statute, policy, and code to give you what they say are your rights and go this far and no further, okay? That's New World Order, Kingdom of Shaitan. You get to choose, folks. I always leave it that way. I try to end it on that, right? Show you the bottomless pit, remind you have wings. There is an eternal truth here we can align with, tap into. There is a living God here that will move with us and work in mysterious ways. There is purpose, meaning, value, and principles we can walk with and activate to create a change for ourselves and this land and our people. Okay, that's going to be our responsibility and accountability, individually and collectively. I don't believe there's any hero, idol, group, cause, endeavor, otherwise that's going to get that done. I think the majority of other non-solutions are in fact an illusion and a delusion. Okay. So last call, Mr. Me says, what's it like to be an I am that am present surrounded by a bunch of me toos? That's your homework for the next 3 or 4 days, presuming I don't show up between now and then. You might see me other places here and there, but I'm not promoting anyone. I'm done promoting other places. I'm done with all that because of what it becomes. So if you catch me there, blessings. If not, you probably weren't missing much. All right, final questions, comments, concerns. I'll throw the link, 602-730-0122. You can call in now. Or type in the StreamYard link if it's not clickable. You come up on the non-panel. One more. I already said one more, but one more. Well, I already covered the DC situation. Kind of over the migrant situation. Can leave that for later. We went over, it's still up there. I'm going to leave it up there just so I get to glance at it every so often. Brightens my day. The headline is Trump administration says it will hold disaster prep dollars from cities that boycott Israel. Yeah, I love that one. That's an award-winning headline right there. Did we ever get to courting? I don't think we ever did. I said I was going to go over there, but we never did. All right, we'll go one. We'll go one courting situation, and then I'm going to vow moose. Trump protesters, beach ID refusal, border patrol ID refusal. Let's do that. Let's do that. One of these anti-American sovereign citizen terrorists had the nerve to try to cross an imaginary line we call a border and didn't want to be presumed guilty till proven innocent. And that, of course, is unpatriotic. It's un-American. When someone in a costume asks you a question, you answer. When someone asks you to perform in a costume, you perform. That's patriotism. That's Americana. You don't take up these people's time, energy, and attention. Show some respect for false authority, and just do what they say and help them with their investigation, right? Stop wasting resources. Stop being rude and crude and lewd and unreasonable.
I'm doing all right. Hell yeah. Are you? No, I'm not. Oh, you should.
But you said you guys are humanitarians out here? That's what I heard.
Humanitarian would be an understatement. This guy actually goes out there and finds remains of people that are missing. I'm going to be dropping the channel link for Battalion Search and Rescue. They are a non-GO, non-government organization. And really quick, I don't want to read any racist comments.
Talcott doesn't. Talcott's not into that.
You guys are out there looking for remains. And
Talcott doesn't believe it. He says, "Stop wasting first responders'
just so
time."
you guys know, all forms of government and
All right, come on, San Joaquin, with the intro. Let's get to it, man. We want to see the slavery.
Yeah, is that wrong?
Here we
Oh, I
go.
want to know what you guys are doing in the area.
I'm on a public road.
Right.
Yeah.
But what are you doing?
What?
I'm on a public road. I'm not answering questions.
Not really.
Not
You have ID
really.
on you? You have your ID on?
What crime have I committed?
Okay, go ahead. You have any ID on you?
Do you have your ID? Why don't you give me your ID? You been drinking today?
Hell yeah, this guy took a page right out of James Freeman's book. Talk to these cops and these agents just like they talk to you.
You here to violate my rights?
You have any ID?
All right, we got a call, and you know I'm the god of all media, so it wouldn't be right if I didn't point out that I did that bit first. They stole that from one of my broadcasts a while ago. Could be argued. 802. How are you? 1013 WSLV, the only place for all things slavery and genocide related and also sovereign citizen related. Questions, comments, concerns. Can you give me a name, please?
Aaron.
Aaron, part of the small hat tribe. Good to have you.
Yeah. You can just call me Chimpin, because I like to chimp it, and ain't
Chimpin'
easy.
and simpin', right.
Chimpin' and simpin'.
All right.
I pay my taxes.
Mm.
In fact, I send them extra money.
Yeah, you got to pay the cost to not be the boss. Am I right? How it goes, man. You know how it goes. You like it. I know you like it. You love it. You want more, right?
I
Tell
love
me
it.
You want more.
I want more. Tax me more.
Yeah.
Fuck me more.
Oh, yeah.
No lube. And maybe take my car if I don't pay for registration on time.
Yeah.
Please.
You didn't ask
I'm
your
so
servants
pathetic.
for permission to use your property? Unsafe.
Yeah,
We're going to have to do some loss, injury, and harm to you. Didn't pay to use your own property? Gonna have to do some loss, injury, and harm on you for safety.
I call the sheriff's station and say, hey, is it okay that I take my property out today to
you
go get
do?
food for my family?
Well,
I
that's
call them
good.
first. I make sure.
Yeah, we like that. You're what we call a good citizen. We don't like you. We don't respect you, but we like that you suck up to us and submit. Makes us feel good.
Exactly. When they pull me over, I put my keys on the dash.
Oh,
I bend over and assume the position.
No. Sorry, I didn't. I realized I wasn't muted there, but just listening to you talk about power and control really fucking got me excited there. Like I missed my calling here doing this broadcast, just being a little old, honorable judge. I want to get out on the ground, boots on the ground. I want to put my foot on a slave's neck, really get up close and personal and intimate with them, I want to be
Slave
there
'em up.
where I can put them gloves on. You ever see that move? I can't do that in my court, right? But on the street,
they put the gloves
put
on.
those
They're
fucking
getting ready
gloves
for
on.
cavity searches.
Yeah. And then I get to watch your face at that moment, right? And I get to suck up all that fear coming off you. Because I know you're a punk fucking coward. You'll do whatever I say. And I'm going to get you to submit at some point, you and your friends and family and everybody. We're coming for your soul, boy.
That's
You'll
it.
submit.
That's it. You might as well
you'll
hand
submit.
it over like a good little boy.
You'll render unto Caesar's what is his. That ass and that
That's
soul
it,
is
yeah.
mine, boy. Yeah.
I give Caesar extra because he deserves it.
Well, then that's why we overlook you, sir. We haven't bothered you at all, have we?
They don't bother me. I pay
There
my
it is.
taxes. I pay registration, insurance,
We're
license.
there
I
for
even
you.
call and ask permission.
We love you, what you do.
They love me.
Thank you
They
for your
love me.
service.
You're welcome. I like to serve my government.
And
They
well,
don't
you
serve
should.
me, but I love to serve them. That's how it should
And
be.
well, you should. You're such a punk, weak ass fucking coward. You can't keep yourself safe. You can't manage your own affairs. That's why we're here. You should thank
That's
us.
why I get the registration sticker because it's safe and effective.
Right.
And
you should pay us more and more and more for doing what you can or won't do for yourself and your country and fellow Americans. You should.
That's like I heard this lady in New Jersey earlier. She was paying like $220 for her electric bill, and now because of AI data centers, the power companies have her paying her share, which it went up to over $600 a month.
Yeah,
and that's what she
we're
should
gonna
be
put
paying.
that fucking old lady out in the street at some point, and then we're gonna criminalize being homeless, and we're gonna bring that dumb, broke, poor, weak ass bitch to Alligator Alley to really re-educate her on what being
exactly. We're going to
slave
scoop
is
the
all about.
homeless up. We're going to call people mentally ill, and we're
Damn
going to
right.
scoop them up on
Damn
the
right.
streets, and we'll just say whatever we want. What does it matter?
Fuck yeah. You get it. You get it, man. You really get it. I'm proud of you. I am. I'm proud of you for really studying this shit and getting it and loving it. And even begging and asking for more and paying for all of it.
I love it.
Sure,
The
you
worse
know what?
it gets, the better I get.
I wasn't ready for this because I didn't realize that I would get this kind of quality on this on this call here today. But I'm gonna go ahead right now and I'm gonna declare you're our number one. There it is. There's the official sound. Everyone just heard the official sound. You are our number one slave caller here today, sir. I want to go ahead and just let you know that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What do I
how does it
win?
feel?
Tighter chains?
No. You don't get anything. You get the privilege of just being recognized, because most of these slaves are like a number on a screen or on a piece of paper. It's like they don't even fucking exist as we wipe them out,
I want my
right?
number tattooed on my arm.
Sure, please.
Personally.
When I'm
That's what
talking,
I
you
want.
don't.
I want my
No.
number
You're
tattooed on my arm.
See, this right here is why we don't recognize more slaves, because you just start talking a little too much. You start thinking a little too much, talking a little too much. So just pipe down there, Junior. Right? You're lucky you're even getting recognized here today as we wipe you and your whole lineage out. You know,
Sorry,
we poison
Judge and
you and your
Slavis. Forgive me,
No,
please.
it's
Is there anything I can do to give recompense for the
you know, maybe
atrocity of
we'll just get
interrupting you?
We'll get you to submit a little harder next time and pay a little more. You know, we trust you.
Find me. Find me. Take my car. Forget feeding my family. If this is for the better of everybody else,
take my wife,
backs me up, baby.
I take my government everywhere. Finds its way back home. All right, man. You gotta. My government came to me and asked, told me wanted to go somewhere new for Christmas. I said, how about you go do some service? Oh,
yeah.
This guy's laugh. I like that laugh, sir. You got an interesting laugh there.
Yeah.
How many vaxes did you get to get that laugh?
I got 3 and 3 boosters.
3 and 3 boosters.
33,
huh?
baby.
Yeah. Yeah. You're the fucking man, huh? What's your name?
I
again?
did it for my grandma. Even though she's dead. I did it for her anyways. Because what if she was alive?
Right.
I could have protected her.
You wouldn't want to be selfish now, would you?
No, it's selfish. Selfish.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Paul, save my number in.
I'm saying
whenever you got
in.
some lull, hit me up. I might answer. You never know.
All right,
feel
let me
free to
see
hit
here.
me
I'll
up
put you in
randomly.
as number one slave.
Number one slave. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. All right, you got any final words for the people?
No, sir. That's all. That's all.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. We love you and
Thank you,
your kind.
Paulie. Appreciate you, brother.
Blessings, Aaron.
You as well.
All right, guys. We come here every day. I mean, who would have thought we would be honored with such a call? Aaron, number one slave. There's no denying it, man. And, we love it. We can't get enough. So, all right. I think I'm going to end it there. We're coming up on the third hour. We're about 20 minutes shy, but no harm, no foul. I mean, I am a god of all media after all, and I created my own universe here, and I created my own laws for that universe. So, of course, I can break them whenever I want. That's one of the benefits of being a god of all media. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. It's either you're going to become part of U.S. corporation or you're going to become a god of all media. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. What do you want to do? Snafu, I see you down there. Your sister. What do you want to do? Your sister begs for chicken cutlets on the corner. Your sister's got big clawed feet. She scratches her back at the dinner table. Upsets everyone. Your sister. What do you want to do? Call unaffiliated on the way out. Email me. If you got something, you got questions, comments, concerns, you got a video you made, you want to contribute to this broadcast in some way beyond just non-taxable events as gifts, we're always open to that. So yeah, questions, comments, concerns, contribution, support in various ways. To the email, it's up there, consciousness.is.rising @gmail.com. I used to have a regular sort of sign-off that I haven't been doing lately anymore, but we may get back to that at some point. That may be the sign-off. The sign-off is we don't have a sign-off. We may get back to it. And make sure you stay safe, right? From now till the next time I see you folks. Very important. All right, blessings to all the contributors and supporters, and blessings to everybody. Peace and love. Live without fear as well. Okay? Bye.
All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no. You understand?
I'm prized here by my fellow man and woman
I never fucked anybody over in my life. Didn't have it coming. You got that?
They're all convicted based on the facts of the matter and the truth.
You want to go out with me? You say it. You don't? Then you make a move.
You don't tell me who's standing for foundational values and principles and sacrificing at times to secure our inherent natural rights to leave. You leave and go somewhere where you suck up to people who run your life with statute, policy, and code and dictate to you. You get the fuck out. I'm a real American. One of these days, these slaves are going to wake up and realize United States Corporation and all these corporations are just glorified mafiosi. That's how mafiosi works. There's a hidden hand. There's folks at the top, and they use all the underlings who want a position of power to be seen and heard or want the benefits and privileges of being in the organization to front run and front man their behind the scenes operations. The majority of your political science majors are convicted by God as felonious and are somewhat predatory because they seek positions of false power to be looked at and seen and heard, don't actually provide any redeemable service or solutions while they're getting paid profiteering. They're all working with lobbyists and corporations. They're all taking money behind the scenes. They're all supporting wars around the world. These slaves still can't figure out the whole reason of making a democratic political system is to convince the people that who they voted for is in office making decisions while the same people who ran your life from the beginning of time do it behind their puppets. We don't have to lie to ourselves and ignore the corruption, the oppression, repression, depression. As a matter of fact, by facing it, we can move beyond it. The architects of political science and New World Order understand your brain chemistry, conscious and awareness, and thoughts, emotions, actions. They know how to mind and heart control you. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to act like that doesn't exist because it's not convenient for our culting. See, right below the surface is of I love you and the love bombing and the using is, Paul, you're a grifter, you're not credible, but somehow you are. When I have over and over again experiences that inspire others to change what they're doing to get results, that's actually moving the mainstream narrative. Literally, I and hundreds of others on the ground, including quote-unquote state nationals and others, are moving certain ideas forward by being the example, and we're pushing the narratives into the mainstream based on what we're doing on the ground, month by month, year by year.
Who put this thing together? Me! That's who! Who do I trust? Me!
Skibbity bop bop. Watch your step now. Jump back, catch the law. Just the other day I was watching the chat. Half the slaves was talking about they homeboy Jack. Did you see what he said? OMG, what'd he say? OMG, I'll have to tell you I was watching all day. Those cupcake motherfuck turds don't know how to be free. If they only knew the law, they could see what I see. I know the law really well, cause I read UCC. If I was a life coach, listen to me. That's you, caught in the drift, waiting for a sign, looking for a leader that you can't define. That's you, stuck in an echo, never breaking free. You follow the current, but you don't even see. Skibbity bop. The night dude was talking real bold, dropping terms like sovereign and common law gold. Nah bro, see, I got the docs right here, I just ain't filed yet, it's the wrong time of year. Trust me, I've studied it, I know what to do, but the county clerk's shady and the judge is a Jew. I'm just waiting till it's safe and I know I'll get paid, maybe when Saturn is back in retrograde. Besides, I gotta stay low for a while. They're watching IPs and I got a profile. Anyway, I'm working on phase 1 of the plan. He went quiet when asked, you ever stood as a man? That's you, caught in the drift, waiting for a sign, looking for a leader that you can't define. That's you, stuck in an echo, never breaking free. You follow the current, but you don't even see. Skibbity-bop. Like he owned the place, typing all caps with the crooked face. Oh great, more soft sit clown shit here. Where's the tinfoil clowns and the flat earth queers? Let me guess, you don't pay taxes. You should be arrested, a criminal felon who didn't get his vaxes. I'm telling you, I know the law better than you. I read the USC, my lawyer knows what to do. What I want to know is, why are you free? That, and please tell me what you're offering me. He's a fed, he's a fraud, he's broke, he's a broke. He probably lives in a pod, he's Illuminati. Nah, he's just fake. I could do it better if I caught a break. They're all in on it, it's a psyop feed. Anyone got a link to the doc I need? That's you, caught in the drift, waiting for a sign, looking for a leader that you can't define. That's you, stuck in an echo, never breaking free. You follow the current, but you don't even see. Skibbity-bop-bop. Down, tick a tack a tack a pop, dibbity down, 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 whoa, bada, whoa, bada, whoa, yeah. That was me, caught in the drift, waiting for a sign, looking for a leader I can never define. That was me, stuck in my echo, caught in the feed, following the current I thought was me. Skibbity bop bop.
Daddy's home. Daddy's here. It's okay.